because of the kind of trouble that the TMC is facing in terms of the cash scam. So Mamata Banerjee on a 4-day tour to Delhi. Now do remember that there was also a cabinet expansion that was held yesterday in the West Bengal cabinet. So all of that being put together, we are now learning that Abhishek Banerjee as well as Mamata Banerjee will be in the national capital today for 4 days. Harsha, in fact, is joining us live. She's reporting on this from New Delhi. Harsha, take us through who she plans to meet. Now, this is a fairly long trip. Mamata Banerjee usually does not stay in the national capital for very long, but this time she's decided to be there for 4 days. And interestingly, she's also accompanied by her nephew.
Exactly, Nupur. Last time we saw when Mamata Banerjee came to Delhi, she came at the time when the presidential election candidate were being chosen by the opposition party. But today we are seeing Mamata Banerjee will be coming on a 4-day visit because on August 7 there's a meeting at Niti Aayog which will be chaired by Prime Minister itself on August 7. But when Mamata Banerjee is here on a 4-day visit, she'll be clearly visiting the Central Hall of Parliament, and not only this, she'll be holding a meeting with all the TMC MPs of Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha here in Delhi, because we have seen how TMC have been warming up with the Congress leaders and the ongoing protests which have been going inside Parliament regarding the GST, price rise, inflation issue. On all those issues, Mamata Banerjee will be meeting opposition leaders and also TMC leaders one-to-one here in Delhi. And it has also been told to us that she will be meeting the newly elected President Draupadi Murmu at her residence, and also Prime Minister Narendra Modi one-to-one. She has been taken the time from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but yet she has not been given time that when the Prime Minister will be meeting TMC Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. But yes, on a 4-day visit, she's planning to meet Prime Minister and raise one-to-one issues regarding the state issues, what have been going on in the state. But one thing also, last year, Mamata Banerjee missed the GST meeting which took place in national capital. So today, the non-payment and dues regarding GST, this matter will be taken up by Mamata Banerjee in meeting with Prime Minister and Nirmala Sitharaman as well. So in a 4-day visit, she'll be literally meeting all the opposition leaders and preparing for the 2024 as well.
Absolutely. So, as you're pointing out, she's got a packed schedule for the next 4 days. Thank you for the moment for joining us. And let's quickly look at some news in brief now. Sanjay Raut's custody has ended and will now be produced before the special PMLA court today. This comes after Sanjay Raut was in the ED's custody in relation to the Patra Chaul case, for which the ED raided his residences for about 9 hours. Now, the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy has credited 395 crore rupees to 3.95 lakh beneficiaries under the Jagan Thodu scheme. According to the Chief Minister's office, the scheme provides 10,000 rupees each to small traders, vendors and artisans. Jammu and Kashmir Director General of Police Dilbagh Singh has chaired a high-level meeting to review the overall security scenario and arrangements regarding the forthcoming Independence Day and Muharram functions. During the meeting, the DGP has sought reports from officers about security arrangements and deployment plans put in place for the smooth and peaceful conduct of Muharram and Independence Day in twin capital cities and all district headquarters across Jammu and Kashmir. As the registration for the senior secondary recruit and matric recruitment concluded, the Indian Navy has received over 80,000 applications from women candidates. According to officials, the recruitment of the above-mentioned profiles will be done under the Agnipath scheme. Union Minister Prahlad Joshi has slammed the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi over his questions on price rise, unemployment and other issues. The leader termed the Wayanad Member of Parliament a part-time irresponsible politician and also said that the latter was roaming around when the Parliament was debating price rise.
उन्होंने ये कहा है कि चर्चा नहीं करना चाहते, चर्चा हो गया तो इतना अज्ञान प्रदर्शन करते ही रहते हो, वो समझता है उनका राइट है. They exhibiting the innocence, I mean his innocence, he feels that it is his right. अज्ञान का exhibition, he feels that it is his right. So I can't, मैं बहुत ज़्यादा इसमें बोलना नहीं चाहता हूँ. चर्चा हो गया, रिप्लाई हो गया, सब कुछ हो गया. वो इधर उधर घूमते रहते हैं ना, उनको कुछ पता नहीं चलता. ये पार्ट टाइम इररिस्पॉन्सिबल पॉलिटिशियन.
nation pays salute to this braveheart Sukhjinder Singh of the Pura sector who made the supreme sacrifice for more. Stay tuned to Republic TV on the other side of the break.
In the CBSE 2022 boards, the toppers for classes 12 and 10 are from Amity once again. At Amity, we are privileged to educate brilliant students and express our gratitude to our teachers and school leaders who passionately work for the success of our children.
Look at the mountain of cash! राहुल गांधी को हिरासत में लिया जा रहा है। बड़ी खबर, बड़ी जानकारी।
From this body only I have won 21 international medals, including that of Asian Games, World Championships and the first ever medal in the Paralympics. That means somewhere I have contributed in getting my national flag to fly high in the global arena.
सबसे कम टेम्परेचर कितना था? सबसे कम -70।
हर सैनिक को ये मौका नहीं मिलता सिलेक्शन काटने का। मेरा का 22 साल के अंदर ये मौका मिला सिलेक्शन काटने का।
अच्छा,
इसलिए बहुत गर्व है मेरा को।
छोटी बात नहीं साहब, बहुत बड़ा कलेजा चाहिए, है ना?
What about the moment when you're up there? I saw your picture there with the tricolor in your hands.
Yeah, I felt proud because there, like, I was representing the whole country, you know.
Yeah.
So I had that proud feeling that I made my country proud, and I think that feelings cannot be described into words.
इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट किया।
हाँ।
और इंडियन फ्लैग को वहाँ पे देखा इटली में, तो कैसा लगा तुम्हें?
जब मैं वहाँ पहुँची, मैंने देखा इंडिया का फ्लैग। वाह, ये तो मैं इतनी खुश हो गई कि नहीं, अब तो कुछ करके दिखाना है। इंडिया का फ्लैग ऊपर होना चाहिए, बस इतना मैं चाहती थी और वो मैंने कर दिखाया। अगर आप इंडिया रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हो ना, हार नहीं माननी है, क्योंकि
Welcome back. Now, the Enforcement Directorate has sealed the head office of the Congress-owned National Herald newspaper in the Freedom Struggle for Profit scam. Now, according to sources, the ED is said to have recovered incriminating evidence and is unsatisfied with the answers that have been provided by Sonia and Rahul Gandhi in the case so far.
The moment the Enforcement Directorate moved in to seal the Young Indian office inside the Herald House on Bahadur Shah Zafar Marg in New Delhi, Congress was up on its feet. In fact, Mallikarjun Kharge, who was actually supposed to be at the Herald House to assist the ED in carrying out a search, which he absented himself from, following which the sealing had to be done, took it up in the Parliament, in the Rajya Sabha, during a discussion, and said that this was a witch hunt happening against the Congress party. Obviously, attempt would be made from then on to raise the issue to a level where Congress party supporters and congressmen, women can come out on the streets and cry vendetta.
In a massive action by the Enforcement Directorate in the Freedom Struggle for Profit scam, the ED has sealed Young Indian office premises in Delhi. According to sources, the Enforcement Directorate is said to have recovered incriminating evidence and was unsatisfied with answers provided by Sonia and Rahul Gandhi in the case. Ever since Rahul Gandhi was summoned for the first time on 13th of June, the Vadra Congress has indulged in hooliganism, clashes with the police and stalling of the parliament in the name of Satyagraha. Yesterday, right after the Young Indian office premises was sealed, the Congress rushed to hold a press conference.
कांग्रेस पार्टी की तरफ से हम इस सरकार को कहना चाहते हैं कि आप जितना मर्जी दबाव की नीति अपना लें, हम पीछे हटने वाले नहीं हैं, चाहे जितना मर्जी दबाव डाल दें।
The Congress in panic mode.
There was panic in the evening at the AICC also, where Congress leaders like Digvijay Singh, Jairam Ramesh and others trooped in, because there was this expectation or anticipation that ED might follow up that sealing with a raid on the AICC headquarters. Of course, nothing like that was happening or planned, but it gave an opportunity to the Congress leaders to show to the Gandhis that they were on their feet and acting in a proactive manner. So it's likely that protests might go on to the streets tomorrow on the issue of ED sealing one of the properties associated with the Young Indian and hence the Gandhis. And obviously from the 5th of August, the Congress party anyway wants to come out on the streets and protest against price rise. So price rise plus ED, that might become Congress party's slogan for the next few days.
It branded this exercise as a diversion tactic and ironically also called the action undeclared emergency and said the party was under siege. Interestingly, the action by the ED came on the same day that 17 opposition parties targeted the Supreme Court over the PMLA Act. However, what none of the Congress leaders have answered is why should the Congress leaders not be investigated when none of the courts have given them relief? When there is a genuine investigation, why is the Vadra Congress trooping in to politicize it? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
The mortal remains of Sukhjinder Singh, the Sepoy of the Indian Army who attained martyrdom in an unfortunate incident that has unfolded in the Uttarakhand when he was on the active duty, are being taken to his native place. And the sea of people here, the people are in grief as they have lost the gem, but the locals, but the area, the entire area is proud of this martyrdom. Gaurav is showing you the non-stop visuals that what these people, they actually feel. Gaurav is showing you these visuals from the residence. This is the father of Sukhjinder Singh. He too has served in the Indian Army. 3 generations of Sukhjinder have served in the Indian Army, but the loss is irreparable. The loss of this braveheart Sukhjinder Singh. The locals are paying the last tribute. The body, the mortal remains have flown from the Hershal area of Uttarakhand to Jammu at the native village, and the people, they know that they have lost a gem. The people are proud of this martyrdom but are also in grief. The locals, they are on the rooftops. I request Gaurav to keep showing you the visual that the peoples from almost all the nearby areas, they have arrived here. They are paying the last salute to this braveheart who has attained martyrdom. He joined Indian Army at the age of 18, was serving in the Indian Army for the past 2 years. But लगातार आप देखिए किस तरह से लोगों का एक बड़ा हुजूम जो है वो यहाँ पे देश के इस जाबाज को आखिरी सलामी देने के लिए यहाँ पर एकत्र हुआ है। परिवार वालों का दुख से बुरा हाल है। गौरव आपको लगातार विजुअल्स दिखा रहे हैं। तिरंगे जो हैं वो यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ के युवाओं ने, क्योंकि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमा से सटा ये गांव है और ये लोग जानते हैं कि शहीदों की शहादत से ही देश जो है वो सुरक्षित है। इन लोगों ने बड़े पास से देखा है किस तरह भारतीय सेना, बीएसएफ और अन्य सुरक्षा बल जो हैं वो यहाँ पर देश की एकता अखंडता के लिए लगातार अपना सर्वस्व न्योछावर करते आए हैं। और यही कारण है कि तिरंगे से ये जो पूरा इलाका है वो इस वक्त आपको देखने को मिल जाएगा। परिवारजन जो हैं वो इस वक्त सदमे में जरूर हैं, लेकिन पूरा इलाका जो है उसे इस शहादत का फिक्र भी है। सुखजिंदर सिंह के नाम को लेकर अमर रहेंगे घोष लगातार आपके लोग लगातार ये जयघोष जो है, जयघोष से पूरा इलाका गूंजा है। वहां पे मैं गौरव को कहूंगा के उस तरफ दिखाएं, भारतीय सेना के जवान जो हैं वो उन्हें जो आखिरी सलामी भारतीय सेना जो है पूरे राजकीय सम्मान के साथ जो है उन्हें दी जा रही है। लगातार भारत माँ के जय घोष से पूरा इलाका जो है वो गूंज रहा है और लगातार गौरव जो है यहाँ पर आपको विजुअल्स भी दिखा रहे हैं कि किस तरह जो लोग हैं, चाहे छतों के ऊपर की बात की जाए या फिर आसपास के इलाकों के लोग बड़ी तादाद में जो हैं यहाँ पहुँचे हैं इस शहीद को श्रद्धांजलि देने के लिए। ये लोग भारत माँ के जय घोष जो हैं वो यहाँ पर लगाए जा रहे हैं और पूरा इलाका जो है उसे फक्र है इस शहादत का, इस शहीद का जिसने कि अपना सर्वस्व न्योछावर किया। सर, आप लोगों ने सुरक्षा बलों की शहादतों को बड़े नजदीक से देखा है, फक्र होता है जब अपने इलाके का शहीद हुआ, नुकसान जरूर।
आज पूरी दुनिया आंखों से नम है। आज हमारा भाई छोटा शोभी सुखविंदर सिंह जी जो वार्ड नंबर 8 के रहने वाले हैं, बहुत ही छोटी उम्र थी अभी उसकी, लगता है 20 साल का बच्चा था, आज वो शहीदी का जाम पे गया। और हमारे पूरे आरसपोरा में इसकी जो शहीदी के लिए ना बहुत ही आंखें नम है, छोटे छोटे बच्चे रो रहे हैं। देखो हर साइड कितने लोग इकट्ठे हुए हैं इसकी चेहरा देखने के लिए। और मैं गवर्नमेंट से अपील करता हूं कि जैसे ये बच्चे शहीद होते हैं, पहली बात मैं बोलता हूं कोई शहीद ना हो, किसी का बच्चा भाई बहन कोई शहीद ना हो। अगर कोई शहीद होता है तो उसकी जो डेड बॉडी है वो जल्दी से जल्दी उसके घर तक पहुंचनी चाहिए। जी मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ गवर्नमेंट से।
तो लगातार ये लोग कह रहे हैं कि आंखें जो हैं नम हैं। आप देखिए जहां तक आपकी नजर जाएगी, गौरव दिखाएं तो आपको युवा यहां पर दिखेंगे हाथों में तिरंगे झंडे लिए हुए, लगातार भारत माँ के जय घोष जो हैं ये लोग लगा रहे हैं। ये बताता है कि देशभक्ति की भावना जो है वो पूरे इस इलाके में, चाहे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमा की बात की जाए, जम्मू कश्मीर की बात की जाए तो अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमा के ये सभी युवा जो हैं देशभक्ति की भावना से ओतप्रोत हैं। यही कारण है युवा भारतीय सेना और BSF, CRPF और अन्य सुरक्षा बलों में लगातार देश की एकता अखंडता के लिए अपनी सेवाएं जो है वो दे रहे हैं। बड़ी तादाद में लोग यहाँ पर पहुंचे हैं और शहादत को नमन जो है वो यहाँ पर किया जा रहा है। सुखजिंदर सिंह जो कि आरएसपुरा के रहने वाले थे, उन्होंने परसों जो है वो शहादत हासिल की थी। एक दर्दनाक हादसा जो सामने आया था और उसके बाद गौरव लगातार आपको यहाँ से विजुअल्स दिखा रहे हैं। भारतीय सेना के जवान जो हैं वो इस वक्त उनके पैतृक गांव, पैतृक घर पे पहुंचे हैं जहां उन्हें शहादत, इस शहीद को जो है श्रद्धांजलि जो दी जा रही है नम आंखों से। इस शहीद ने अपना सर्वस्व जो है वो न्योछावर किया देश के लिए और गांव वाले और बाकी लोग जो यहाँ पे हैं वो लगातार यहाँ इस शहीद को जो है नमन कर रहे हैं। इस शहादत को नमन किया जा रहा है। जी
वही ना एक तक तो बोल लगाओ।
इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट किया।
हाँ।
और इंडियन फ्लैग को वहाँ पे देखा इटली में, तो कैसा लगा तुम्हें?
जब मैं वहाँ पहुंची मैंने देखा इंडिया का फ्लैग, वाव, ये तो मैं इतनी खुश हो गई कि नहीं, अब तो कुछ करके दिखाना है। इंडिया का फ्लैग ऊपर होना चाहिए, बस इतना मैं चाहती थी और वो मैंने कर दिखाया।
अगर आप इंडिया रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हो ना, हार नहीं माननी है क्योंकि गोल्ड तो लेकर ही आना है आपको। बचपन से सर एक ड्रीम है मेरा, अब एक तो अपनी गेम को प्रोफेशनली यूज करना है, प्रोफेशनली आगे बढ़ाना है और वर्ल्ड ओलंपिक्स में गोल्ड लाना है इंडिया के लिए, अपनी स्टेट के लिए।
The protesters are trying to exert force on the barricades and trying to break it down.
Mr. Chatterjee, would you like to applaud?
Sonia Gandhi coming out of the, and we can see Priyanka Gandhi also here, along with Sonia Gandhi.
Seeing outside his residence, he has come out. He has come out.
भी ये चाहता हूँ, हमेशा दिल में सोता हूँ शाम को, मेरे को दर्द होता है कलेजे के अंदर कि चाइना आए तो आज भी मैं खाने के लिए तैयार हूँ। युद्ध भूमि में दुश्मन से जब हम लड़ा करते थे तूफानों को मोड़ दिया करते थे, अभी जितना बॉर्डर पर मारते हैं उतना तो हम रोड पे छोड़ दिया करते थे।
The only thing which is still in his mind is Naam, Namak and Nishan. Naam of his battalion.
Yes.
Namak, of course, he is eating off the banner and the Nishan of the banner he is carrying.
Look at the mountain of cash.
राहुल गांधी को हिरासत में लिया जा रहा है, बड़ी खबर, बड़ी जानकारी।
From this body only I have won 21 international medals, including that of Asian Games, World Championships and the first ever medal in the Paralympics. That means somewhere I have contributed in getting my national flag to fly high in the global arena.
Gaurav is showing you the non-stop visuals that the tributes are being paid to this brave heart of the Indian Army, Sukhjinder Singh of the 11th Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry. A sea of people gathered here to pay the last tribute to this brave heart, as in a short while from now the last journey will begin from his native place in the RS Pura, with a sea of people are here to pay him tribute to this brave heart of the Indian Army, who has served the country for the 2 years and has earned immense respect. For more, stay tuned to Republic TV right after this short break.
मैं भी ये चाहता हूँ, हमेशा दिल में सोता हूँ शाम को, मेरे को दर्द होता है कलेजे के अंदर कि चाइना आए तो आज भी मैं खाने के लिए तैयार हूँ। युद्ध भूमि में दुश्मन से जब हम लड़ा करते थे तूफानों को मोड़ दिया करते थे, अभी जितना बॉर्डर पर मारते हैं उतना तो हम रोड पे छोड़ दिया करते थे।
The only thing which is still in his mind is Naam, Namak and Nishan. Naam of his battalion.
Yes.
Namak, of course, he is eating off the banner and the Nishan of the banner he is carrying.
Look at the mountain of cash.
राहुल गांधी को हिरासत में लिया जा रहा है, बड़ी खबर, बड़ी जानकारी।
From this body only I have won 21 international medals, including that of Asian Games, World Championships and the first ever medal in the Paralympics. That means somewhere I have contributed in getting my national flag to fly high in the global arena.
कम टेम्परेचर कितना था? सबसे कम -70।
हर सैनिक को ये मौका नहीं मिलता सीएचएन काटने का। मेरा का 22 साल के अंदर ये मौका मिला सीएचएन काटने का।
अच्छा,
इसलिए बहुत गर्व है मेरा को।
छोटी बात नहीं साहब, बहुत बड़ा कलेजा चाहिए, है ना?
What about the moment when you're up there?
मेरे साथ एक ऑफिसर था, मैंने उससे पूछा क्या मतलब है वॉर मेमोरियल में खाली पत्थर लगाना। उसने बोला कि सर ये वादा है फौज का, ये वादा है इंडियन आर्मी का कि और कितने भी नाम इस पत्थर पे लिख दिए जाएं, ये तिरंगा ऐसे ही लहराता रहेगा।
Thanks for
staying tuned. The last rites of Sepoy Sukhjinder Singh, who was killed in landslide in Uttarakhand, will be performed today. In fact, the final journey as we speak is underway, and Gursimran getting us all those live visuals as well. Reporting live, Gursimran, take it away. Talk to us about the scenes you are seeing around you. We understand a lot of people have gathered to pay their final tribute to the Sepoy.
See, right now we are at the residence of Sepoy Sukhjinder Singh of the 11th Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry of Indian Army. This braveheart has attained martyrdom day before yesterday in an unfortunate incident that has unfolded in Uttarakhand. He was on the active line of duty, and the sea of the people speaks of the volumes. The respect the Indian Army, the men in uniform, and by serving in the Indian Army. These people, they are not all other relative, but they are those who have got to know that a brave heart of the Indian Army has attained supreme sacrifice, and that's why they have come with the tirangas in their hand, and this is kind of respect these people they have earned. See, we know that at the age of 18, Sukhjinder Singh, hailing from the Araspura of the Indo-Pakistan international border in Jammu, he attained supreme sacrifice. He joined Indian Army at the age of 18, served Indian Army for almost 2 years. This was his first place of posting, and the people in thousands and thousands of numbers have arrived here to pay last respect. The mortal remains will be put here in a short while. The people are on their rooftops also. No matter which side Gaurav shows, I'll request Gaurav to show you a 360-degree view of the entire area, and you will find the people on the rooftops, the people who are in grief, those who have come to pay tribute. This is the view of the entire area of the Araspura when the bike rally that was taken out by the youth to pay the tribute to this brave heart was passing from the Satwari area to the Araspura, that is more than a 10 kilometers distance. The people we was witnessing, the people have stopped. It seems that life has come to an halt when the people saw that the body, the mortal remains of a brave heart are coming in an army vehicles, and all people, they were standstill to pay tribute. And similar visuals are here at the native village of Sukhjinder Singh, where the mortal remains have been brought, and in a short while from now the mortal remains will be put here outside his residence for the general public, so that the tributes can be paid to this brave heart. See, this is the kind of respect the men in uniform has earned in Jammu and Kashmir. Because these people, these border people, they have seen very closely the supreme sacrifice of the security forces, be it the Indian Army, CRPF, PSF, or other paramilitary forces, or the Jammu and Kashmir police. This is what the kind of sacrifice these people actually make on the daily basis to keep the unity, sovereignty, and the integrity of the country. These officials of the Jammu and Kashmir police and the Indian Army, they are also here. They are asking to people to be here, as the mortal remains will be kept here for the final tribute, the Akhri darshans of this brave heart, Sukhjinder Singh of the Araspura sector of Jammu, who has made the supreme sacrifice. And these are the non-stop visuals. Gaurav is continuously showing you how the things are moving. The people are gathering, the people are coming out in large numbers with each passing minute, and they are proud of the supreme sacrifice that has been made by this brave heart of the Araspura. From the Indo-Pakistan border belt of Araspura, this 20-year-old chap, a young man, has made the country proud. Proud with his martyrdom. He has the courage, and he always wanted to serve the Indian Army because his grandfather, his father, his uncle, his cousins, they were in the Indian Army, and there is always inspiration from his home itself that he wanted to serve the Indian Army. And right now the Gaurav is showing you the non-stop visuals of this area, that now the mortal remains of this brave heart will be kept here at get outside his residence so that those people who have come from the far-flung area of Jammu and Kashmir, from other districts also, now the Jawans of the Indian Army too are arriving. I'll request Gaurav to keep showing you the visuals. These are the bravehearts from the Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry, the same regiment from which Sukhjinder is. He was in the 11th Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry, and the Jawans of the Jackline, even the officials, they are also arriving as the mortal remains of this braveheart will be kept outside for the last tributes. All people, those who have arrived here, they are in grief, they are in pain. This pain is irreparable, and this loss of the braveheart is also irreparable because country has lost a gem who joined the Indian Army with a single motto, that is to serve the country. And the relatives, what they say was he was always proud of what he has done, what the supreme sacrifice he has made. And now the locals, they are here in large numbers. I request even Gaurav to keep showing you the visuals of the people who have gathered here in thousands and thousands to pay the last respect to this braveheart. That because in an hour from now he will be on to his last journey, where he will be cremated with the full honors as per the Indian Army protocol. He will be given the gun salute and then laid to rest. This braveheart of the Indian Army will be laid to rest. And the people who have come here in large numbers to pay tribute, they want to see him for the last time. These are the family members who are requesting people to just wait for a couple of minutes as the mortal remains will be kept outside. And the scenes are really, really very emotional here. The people who have lost their near and dear ones, they are totally, completely shattered. They don't know how to react because it seems that the heaven has fallen on them. This is their situation. They are unable to speak. They are unable to say because the unfortunate incident that has unfolded has left them shocked, left them totally, completely shattered. But the locals also say that they are proud. They are proud of this martyrdom. These are the regular visuals. Gaurav is showing you non-stop visuals from the house of these braveheart Sukhjinder Singh of 11 Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry, born in 2002, attained supreme sacrifice in 2022. The 22-year man has written the history. The entire country will remember this braveheart who has made the supreme sacrifice. The sacrifice he has made for the country. The family members are in grief and also proud of the supreme sacrifice that this braveheart has made. Now they are saying that those who want to pay the last respect can do so because as per the army protocol, 10 a.m. is the time that has been fixed for the last rites of this braveheart. The family members, they are in grief. The locals, they are in praise for this braveheart because he always wanted to serve the country. This family has a legacy of serving in the Indian Army, and Sukhjinder too was carrying the same legacy. He wanted to serve the Indian Army. That is the reason he joined the army in 2020 and was serving at the Uttarakhand when an unfortunate incident unfolded day before yesterday when a landslide incident took place. And this braveheart came under the big boulders and fell down into a deep gorge, thus attained the supreme sacrifice. But these locals, they say that this sacrifice will always be remembered. This sacrifice can never be forgotten because this sacrifice is what has made the country proud. These kind of sacrifices are behind the unity and the integrity of the country. And because the people like Sukhjinder Singh, the men in uniform like Sukhjinder Singh, are the ones who have made it sure that they will give the supreme sacrifice, but won't let the unity and the integrity of the country compromise. And that's why a sea of people, this sea of people is for the supreme sacrifice of this braveheart of the Indian Army. The relatives, they want to see him for the last time, as in a short while from now, the mortal remains of this braveheart, they will be, these mortal remains of the braveheart will be leaving for the crematorium, where the last rites will take place after the gun salute from the Jawans of the Indian Army. This is an emotional, rather a painful moment for the family members, as they have lost their gem. They don't know what has happened to them. Heaven has fallen on them. Actually, they don't know how to react. But these locals here at the border village of Sukhjinder, this speaks of the volumes that the courage, the legacy the Indian Army carries. These bravehearts, when they wear the uniform, they earn a special respect, and that can be clearly seen from the sea of people that have gathered here. I'll request Gaurav to show you a 360-degree view of the area, and you will find people at every nook and corner of this village. Those who have come to pay salute to this braveheart, a final goodbye to this braveheart. These people, they want to have the last glimpse of Sukhjinder Singh of the 11th Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry. This area, if we go to the background of this area, this is a border village. Araspur is a border village which has always been under the nefarious eye of the Pakistan. It has only been 2 years that the ceasefire agreement has taken place. Otherwise, this area has always been under the cross-border shelling by the Pakistani side. And there are many people from this area who are serving in Indian Army. And the families here, they also know what it takes for the families to give their son, their husband, their father for the Indian Army, because many people here have attained martyrdom while serving in different parts of the country for the Indian Army, CRPF, PSF and other security forces, including the Jammu and Kashmir Police and the paramilitary forces. And the people here, they are in grief. They don't know what has happened. The family members, they just want to have a glimpse of Sukhjinder Singh. The sister of Sukhjinder, I am showing you the visuals. I request Gaurav to show you the visual this side. The cousin of Sukhjinder Singh, they are totally shattered in pain of the incident that has taken place. And this area, the border area, the people have shown the immense respect for the brave hearts of the Indian Army. The supreme sacrifice, these people say, will not go in vain, and this brave heart will be remembered throughout the life. They say that Sukhjinder always had the courage to serve in the Indian Army. He always wanted to be in the Indian Army, he wanted to serve, and now the continuous visuals this Gaurav is showing you from the border village, where the family members, the relatives all have gathered here to pay the last respect. It is an immense loss for the people of the border, those who have come to pay salute. We are joined by some local representatives. सर, एक बड़ा लॉस है इस इलाके के लिए, लेकिन ये वो इलाका आता है जहां शहादतों का एक पूरा सीरीज चलाया है. बहुत शहादतें इस गांव में.
ठीक कह रहे हैं आपने. इस इलाके में आते हुए देखा हुआ, जगह जगह छोटे छोटे गेट बने पड़े हैं. कारगिल शहीद से लेके हमेशा ये शहीदों की धरती है. और हमारे बड़े अजीज़ हैं कैप्टन परमजीत सिंह, खुद आर्मी में सेवा करके आए और बेटे को भी उसी सेवा में, देश की सेवा में लगाया. और ये बहुत बड़ा लॉस है। एक ही चिराग था इस घर का जो आज बुझ गया है, और वतन की खातिर, देश की खातिर, और देश के सम्मान में इससे ज़्यादा क्या हो सकता है। लोग आज एक अदिया खून का देना हो तो वो नहीं देते हैं, तो एक जवान बेटा गया है।
हजारों की तादाद में लोग यहाँ पहुँचे हैं, फक्र है पूरे।
जाके देखें दुनिया को, यहाँ शमशान घाट तक लोग आंखें बिछाए हैं। इसी इलाके में वो खेलता था, यहीं उसके दोस्त हैं, यही उसका घर परिवार था, और ये रहते भी जो बिल्कुल हैं। ये अब यहाँ बॉर्डर के ऊपर शेलिंग स्टार्ट हुई थी, फायरिंग, तो तब यहाँ आए। पहले तो ये बिल्कुल सुचेतगढ़ बॉर्डर जो लास्ट बॉर्डर है वहाँ पे ही रहा। और मैं जो हमारे कैप्टन साहब हैं, मैं अंदाज़ा लगा सकता हूँ कि वो किस दर्द से गुजर रहे हैं। जब हमने खोए हैं अपने इसी दुनिया में अपने छोटे, तो हमें एहसास है कि
So the locals are proud of the sacrifice Sepoy Sukhjinder Singh has made in the line of the duty, and the people who have gathered here in thousands and thousands of numbers. This speaks of what kind of valor this braveheart was carrying. He joined Indian Army with the motto of Desh Seva and the supreme sacrifice, the martyrdom he has attained. This is something that can never be forgotten. We have some more people with us. सर, यहाँ पे हज़ारों की तादाद में लोगों ने शहादतें दी हैं। आज देश का एक और जाबाज शहीद हुआ, पूरा गांव को फक्र है।
सर, ये पूरे जितने भी इस इलाके में, आरसपुरा में, जहाँ ये बेटा, जहाँ इनका घर है, हर आदमी को इतना दुख है कि इसका कोई अंदाज़ा नहीं बता सकते। ये बच्चा इतना लायक था, बहुत ही ज़्यादा लायक। ये परिवार बहुत अच्छा परिवार है। जिस ये यूनिट में था, जिस प्लाटून में था, जिस ये अपनी ड्यूटी पर था, ये बहुत ईमानदार और वफादार बच्चा था। बहुत आले दर्जे से यूनिट में भी इसने जो ड्यूटी की, बहुत अच्छी ड्यूटी की। बहुत ही जे मैंडेड, कोई भी एक कदम भी उठाना तो बड़ा एक सोच समझ वाला आदमी था। पता नहीं उस अकाल पुरख परमात्मा को क्या मंजूर हुआ कि जो ये बच्चे की जान खोगी।
सर, फक्र है, पूरा गांव तिरंगे लेकर यहाँ पर आया है।
सर, हमें बहुत फक्र है, हमें बहुत ही फक्र है। ये एक लड़का है जो एक आंध्री कैप्टन साहब का बेटा था, और ये बच्चा बड़ा लायक बच्चा था, और जहाँ पर भी उसका हर आदमी के साथ इतना प्यार था कि इसका कोई हम अंदाज़ा नहीं बता सकते। ये जो संगत देख रहे हो आप, जो हमारे सामने पब्लिक खड़ी है, यही इसी का प्यार है,
यही इसी का प्यार है। दिस इज द इमेंस लव एंड रिस्पेक्ट द फैमिली एंड द पीपल फ्रॉम द एरिया हैज फॉर Sukhjinder Singh of the 11th Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry. The people say that this sea of the people who have gathered here to pay last tribute to this braveheart is witness to what this braveheart was. The people, the men in uniform has immense respect here at the international border area. I'll request Gaurav to show you a 360-degree view of the area, and this will give an idea of the immense respect the men in uniform carry from the special area. The area which falls very near to the Indo-Pakistan international border has always been victim to the nefarious plots of the Pakistan. The people from this area, these nationalist people, they have chosen to serve the Indian Army. He has a legacy. His father was an honorary captain in the Indian Army who retired, and the honorary captain made his son to the Indian Army. This is the saga of courage and the saga of the legacy of these bravehearts, that they don't even miss a chance to serve the country at any cost. Gaurav is showing you the visuals and we'll try to speak to some more people. सर, मुझे आप बताइए, लगातार आप भी जानते हैं कि कितना फ़क्र होता है जब शहादत, सर, लगातार शहादतों का दौर आप लोगों ने याद।
I think मैंने सुना, I heard his father saying that I have the biggest regret that he should have died in a battlefield than like that, the incident that has occurred. So see the courage, see the feelings behind it. Although he has lost the only son of his the future generation, so you can well imagine.
So this is what the father of the braveheart is saying. He's saying that This is something you cannot expect from a father. He's saying that he would have loved if his son would have died in the battlefield. This is the courage, this is the heart, these brave hearts of the Indian Army they carry. Because see, this area, if we speak of this very area, this is in the Araspura sector, and as being told by Alok, they used to live at the zero line almost, which has always been in the Suchetgarh, which has always been on to the target of the Pakistan during the cross-border shelling, and then they moved to this side of the area. So these people, they have seen the forces working really closely, and that's why the people, they are here in thousands and thousands of numbers to pay salute to this brave heart. Yes, back to studios.
Thank you so much, Gursimran, reporting live from Araspura sector, where the final salute is being paid to Sepoy Singh, who was martyred in a landslide in Uttarakhand. And a quick roundup of all that's making news after a gas leak occurred in a garment factory in Andhra Pradesh that left over 100 hospitalized in the Anakapalli district of Andhra. Chief Minister Y. Jagan Mohan Reddy took note of the situation and has ordered safety audit in all industries of the state. Now, the decision came in wake of the gas leak incident that was reported in the Anakapalli district. As many as 121 women workers were affected and are being treated in various hospitals after the incident. Female inmates of Indore's central jail made Rakhis for soldiers posted in border areas on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan. Now, according to police official, at least 200 Rakhis will be sent to soldiers in Kashmir, and not just that, these Rakhis will also be available at their outlet for common people.
जेल में जो है महिला बंदियों के द्वारा जो है राखी का बनाया जा रहा है, जिनको हमने इन्हें प्रशिक्षण दिलवाया था राखी बनाने का, जिसका उद्देश्य ये है कि राखी बनाएंगे तो इससे एक प्रेम भाव जुड़ा रहता है। और राखी एक और उद्देश्य है पावन की, जो हमारे बॉर्डर पे जो सिपाही हैं उनके लिए महिला बंदियों द्वारा बना करके 200 राखी हम जो है भिजवा रहे हैं, जो कि कश्मीर बॉर्डर पे सैनिकों को बांधी।
Idol of Shivling located on the Chola Road of Bhopal was found broken and uprooted from the ground. According to the police officials, the stone from which the Shivling was broken is also found lying in the temple itself. The Shivling belonged to Pipleshwar Mahadev temple, which is located in front of Vishwa Hindu Parishad office. A case has also been registered for the same, while investigation has also been ordered.
इस मामले में जो जोन 3 का है, इसमें एक मंदिर है, उसमें जो मूर्ति है उसको क्षतिग्रस्त करने का मामला सामने आया है। पुलिस इसमें जो स्थान है मंदिर का, वहाँ के आसपास के क्षेत्रों में पूछताछ कर रही है, वहाँ के तकनीकी साक्ष्य भी एकत्रित कर रही है। अभी कुछ संदिग्ध पुलिस के पास में है, उनका कंफर्म होने के पश्चात इसमें आगे भी बताएगा।
At least 2 died and 1 was hospitalized after a gas leak incident that occurred in an electro steel factory in Kharda in West Bengal. The tragic incident has been reported from the North 24 Parganas district of West Bengal. The police officials of the same district confirmed the information as well. Rajasthan Animal Husbandry Minister Lalchand Kataria exhorted officials to put all stops to control the lumpy disease spreading among animals. The minister also held a review meet.
Directed about 36 lakh rupees was received from Sanjay Raut in cash, and this was to buy properties in Alibag. Also, instruction was given that the property would be bought in the name of his wife Varsha Raut.
While the statement of former HDIL accountant also recorded, the ED also said Raut has received large amount of cash from Praveen Raut, besides massive money transfer in his account. Reportedly, this was the money used in purchase of flats in Alibag and Mumbai.
Given the fact that the enforcement directorate essentially believes that this money was part of the proceeds of crime, the money that essentially came in from the kingpin of the scam, Praveen Raut. And that is the reason why this very property that was bought by Sanjay Raut using his wife's name has also been attached by the enforcement directorate. Not just the land in Alibag, but we are given to understand his properties in Dadar have also been attached by the enforcement directorate. Also, in the last few days, they have also recorded the statement of a former HDIL accountant. All that has been part of this entire investigation that has been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate. Remember, in the last remand, they had basically indicated that Sanjay Raut was actually getting monthly payments. Questions that are essentially being raised at this point in time is that over 80 lakh rupees that was actually received by Varsha Raut, part of it was actually returned to the kingpin, that is Praveen Raut, and they were trying to say that this was nothing but an unsecured loan. But the question that has been raised is that if at all this was a loan, then why wasn't any interest paid to begin with? And secondly, why was the money actually paid after the case was registered?
Sir, live tease hai. Update which we are getting after the Young India Private Limited premises was sealed by ED. We are getting to know that ED is conducting fresh raids in relation of Hawala connection with the National Herald office. You are watching Republic TV. Stay tuned because we'll be get you more updates and exclusive in this National Herald money laundering case. Stay tuned with us.
The nation pays salute to this braveheart Sukhjinder Singh of the 11th Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry who attained martyrdom in the Uttarakhand, and now his mortal remains are being taken for the final rites, the final journey of this braveheart from the Araspura sector. For more, stay tuned to Republic TV.
Look at the mountain of cash.
राहुल गांधी को हिरासत में लिया जा रहा है। बड़ी खबर, बड़ी जानकारी।
From this body only, I have won 21 international medals, including that of Asian Games, World Championships, and the first ever medal in the Paralympics. That means somewhere I have contributed in getting my national flag to fly high in the global arena.
कम टेम्परेचर कितना था?
सबसे कम -70।
हर सैनिक को ये मौका नहीं मिलता CHN काटने का। मेरा का 22 साल के अंदर ये मौका मिला CHN काटने का।
अच्छा,
इसलिए बहुत गर्व है मेरा को।
छोटी बात नहीं साहब, बहुत बड़ा कलेजा चाहिए, है ना?
What about the moment when you're up there? I saw your picture there with the tricolor in your hands.
Yeah, I felt proud because there, like, I was representing the whole country, you know.
Yeah.
So I had that proud feeling that I made my country proud, and I think that feelings cannot be described into words.
इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट किया।
हाँ।
और इंडियन फ्लैग को वहाँ पे देखा इटली में, तो कैसा लगा तुम्हें?
जब मैं वहाँ पहुंची, मैंने देखा इंडिया का फ्लैग। वाह, ये तो मैं इतनी खुश हो गई कि नहीं, अब तो कुछ करके दिखाना है। इंडिया का फ्लैग ऊपर होना चाहिए, बस इतना मैं चाहती थी और वो मैंने कर दिखाया।
अगर आप इंडिया रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हो ना, हार नहीं माननी है, क्योंकि गोल्ड तो लेकर ही आना है आपको। बचपन से सर एक ही ड्रीम है मेरा, अब एक तो अपनी गेम को प्रोफेशनली यूज करना है, प्रोफेशनली आगे बढ़ाना है और वर्ल्ड ओलंपिक्स में गोल्ड लाना है इंडिया के लिए, अपनी स्टेट के लिए।
The protesters are trying to exert force on the barricades and trying to break it down.
Well, these are the visuals that we are getting of the final salute being paid to Sepoy Sukhjinder in Araspura sector. Gursimran getting us those visuals as a country bids adieu to the martyr, the 20-year-old who was martyred in a tragic incident as a result of landslide in Uttarakhand, and the final goodbye there being paid to Sepoy Singh. Gursimran is also joining us live. Gursimran, if you could talk to us more about the Martyr, about the Sepoy, his last journey. We understand a lot of people have gathered to pay their final tributes to the Martyr.
A sea of people actually have gathered here to pay love salute to this braveheart of the Araspura sector of Jammu, and these are colleagues of Sukhjinder Singh of the 11th Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry, the officials from the JACRF. They are also here as the mortal remains of Sukhjinder leaves for his final journey. And I'll request Gaurav if he can show you some people that journey, the last rites that are going to happen in a short while. And a sea of people are also accompanying the army vehicle in which right now the mortal remains of this brave heart are going on, coming from a background, a very remote village of the Araspura sector, where the peace people, they have closely seen how the forces work round the clock to ensure the unity and the integrity of the country. And now this braveheart who attained martyrdom in an unfortunate incident that has unfolded in Uttarakhand when he was on the line of the duty. Now the salutes are being paid to this bravehearts. The family members, they are continuously, they are saying that they are proud of this martyrdom, and we will be continuing with this on-ground live reporting right after this short break.
इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट किया और इंडियन फ्लैग को वहाँ पे देखा इटली में, तो कैसा लगा तुम्हें?
जब मैं वहाँ पहुंची, मैंने देखा इंडिया का फ्लैग, वाह, ये तो मैं इतनी खुश हो गई कि नहीं, अब तो कुछ करके दिखाना है। इंडिया का फ्लैग ऊपर होना चाहिए, बस इतना मैं चाहती थी और वो मैंने कर दिखाया।
अगर आप इंडिया रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हो ना, हार नहीं माननी है, क्योंकि गोल्ड तो लेकर ही आना है आपको। बचपन से सर एक ही ड्रीम है मेरा, अब एक तो अपनी गेम को प्रोफेशनली यूज करना है, प्रोफेशनली आगे बढ़ाना है और वर्ल्ड ओलंपिक्स में गोल्ड लाना है इंडिया के लिए, अपनी स्टेट के लिए।
The protesters are trying to exert force on the barricades and trying to break it down.
Mr. Chatterjee, would you like to report?
Sonia Gandhi coming out of the, and you can see Priyanka Gandhi is also here along with Sonia Gandhi.
Sanjay Ram Singh outside his residence. He has come out. He has come out.
ये चाहता हूँ, हमेशा दिल में सोता हूँ शाम को, मेरे को दर्द होता है कलेजे के अंदर कि चाइना आए तो आज भी मैं खाने के लिए तैयार हूँ। युद्ध भूमि में दुश्मन से जब हम लड़ा करते थे, तूफानों को मोड़ दिया करते थे। अभी जितना बॉर्डर पर मारते हैं उतना तो हम रोड पर छोड़ दिया करते थे।
The only thing which is still in his mind is Naam, Namak and Nishan. Naam of his battalion.
Yes.
Namak, of course, he is eating off the banner and the Nishan of the banner he is carrying.
Look at the mountain of cash.
राहुल गांधी को हिरासत में लिया जा रहा है। बड़ी खबर, बड़ी जानकारी।
मेरे साथ एक ऑफिसर था, मैंने उससे पूछा क्या मतलब है वॉर मेमोरियल में खाली पत्थर लगाना। उसने बोला कि सर ये वादा है फौज का, ये वादा है इंडियन आर्मी का कि और कितने भी नाम इस पत्थर पे लिख दिए जाएं, ये तिरंगा ऐसे ही लहराता रहेगा।
The freedom struggle for profit scam hits the Congress party. The ED seals the Young India Company office in the national capital. The Congress party swings into huddle, calls an urgent meeting of all parliamentarians to discuss the future strategy. There is no escape for the Congress's top brass. The ED is set to probe money laundering and the Hawala angle. The arrested Sena MP Sanjay Raut is to be produced before the PMLA court today in the Patra Chaul scam case. And the Maharashtra political war reaches the top court. Harish Salve is to appear for Eknath Shinde's camp as the Shinde versus Uddhav Thackeray battle intensifies. Good morning. You are watching Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri and this is live and breaking. In fact, we are heading across to news that we are following from the national capital. The Congress party has given an adjournment motion in Parliament on the issue of the ED sealing the premises of National Herald in the national capital. Now, the ED, of course, in a swift move yesterday had raided several offices linked to Young India and thereafter they'd sealed the National Herald's office.
कार्यकर्ताओं में, कांग्रेस के बड़े नेताओं में और खास करके सबका एक ही कवायद है, सबकी कवायद है कि किस प्रकार से एक ही परिवार के लिए हम आंदोलन करें, एक परिवार को कैसे बचाया जाए। कल जिस प्रकार से शाम को जब यंग इंडिया लिमिटेड, यह जो एक कंपनी है जिसकी 76% के स्टेक होल्डर या डायरेक्टर कहिए, ओनर कहिए, मालिक कहिए, सोनिया गांधी और राहुल गांधी है, ज्यादा से ज्यादा ये कंपनी एक परिवार के पास है और किस प्रकार से जो AJL की संपत्ति थी, एसोसिएटेड जर्नल लिमिटेड की जो संपत्ति थी वो यंग इंडिया में ट्रांसफर हुई है, इसके विषय में भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने समय समय पर आपको अवगत कराया है। कल जब इनके दफ्तर को ईडी ने बंद किया, जो हमने न्यूज के माध्यम से देखा, जिस प्रकार का माहौल कांग्रेस पार्टी ने बनाया, यह आश्चर्य का विषय है। आप सब मीडिया वाले यहां बैठे हैं, कल आपके रिपोर्टर्स वहां मौजूद थे। आपके रिपोर्टर्स ने कल यह स्पष्ट रूप से बताया कि कई दिनों से जो एजेंसी है वो नोटिस भेज रही थी मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी को और बाकी जो यंग इंडिया लिमिटेड के अधिकारी है कि आप आइए और आप आके हमारे साथ कोऑपरेट करिए, कुछ दस्तावेजों की आवश्यकता है। मीडिया ने बताया कि जब कोई आया नहीं अधिकारी, जब खड़गे जी भी आए नहीं बार बार कहने के पश्चात, तब यह प्रक्रिया हुई है, एक टेम्परेरी प्रक्रिया है, ऐसा मीडिया में हम सब ने देखा। तो स्वाभाविक रूप से उसमें इस प्रकार का एक व्यवहार, ड्रामा, और आज सुबह यह कहना कि अब याचना नहीं रण होगी, रण मतलब युद्ध करेंगे, अब याचना नहीं रण होगी। नहीं, आप ये बताइए, पहले तो कह रहे थे सत्याग्रह होगी, अब कह रहे हैं रण अर्थात युद्ध होगा। दोनों डायमेट्रिकली ऑपोजिट है। आप करने क्या वाले हैं? सत्याग्रह करने वाले हैं, दुराग्रह करने वाले हैं, रण करने वाले हैं या युद्ध करने वाले हैं? जनता जनार्दन बड़े स्पष्ट रूप से कह रही है, न रण होगा और न रन होगा, RUN रन। Neither you should fight against the system, nor you should run away from the system. देश का जो संविधान है, देश का जो कानून है, वो सबके लिए बराबर है। चाहे वो कांग्रेस की अध्यक्षा हो, चाहे वो कांग्रेस के पूर्व अध्यक्ष हो, चाहे वो आम जनता हो, सबके लिए देश का संविधान, देश का कानून एक बराबर है। तो देश के कानून के साथ रण, देश के कानून के साथ युद्ध, यह संभव नहीं है, यह उचित नहीं है। और देश के कानून और संविधान को पीठ दिखा करके रन, RUN रन, यह भी संभव नहीं है। बिकॉज कहा जाता है ना, कानून के हाथ लंबे होते हैं और कानून किसी को छोड़ता नहीं है। आज नहीं तो कल कानून आपके गिरेबान तक पहुंच ही जाता है और यदि आपने गलती नहीं की है तो डरने की कोई बात ही नहीं है। कल हमने जो दृश्य देखे कांग्रेस के दफ्तर में, बड़े बड़े दिग्गज नेता कांग्रेस पार्टी कर, एक से बड़ा एक वकील कांग्रेस पार्टी का, और मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे इत्यादि सब मौजूद थे कांग्रेस के दफ्तर में। मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी कांग्रेस के दफ्तर आ सकते हैं, मुझे ये बात समझ में नहीं आती है नेशनल हेराल्ड के दफ्तर पे बुलावे पे क्यों नहीं जा सकते हैं। और आप सोचिए ये वो कांग्रेस पार्टी है जिनको आतंकवादियों को भी छुड़ाना हो तो वो रात को 12 बजे कोर्ट चले जाते हैं, रात को 12 बजे जाके कोर्ट के दरवाजे को खटखटा देते हैं कि सुनिए हमारी गुहार को सुनिए। और इतना बड़ा विषय हो गया, उनको लगता था उनके प्रथम परिवार के ऊपर हमला हो गया, और उसके बावजूद इनमें से जितने वकील मौजूद थे उन्होंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करना पसंद किया, डिबेट करना पसंद किया, एक भी व्यक्ति कोर्ट नहीं गया। क्यों? कोर्ट का दरवाजा क्यों नहीं खटखटाया कांग्रेस पार्टी ने? कांग्रेस पार्टी ने कोर्ट का दरवाजा इसलिए नहीं खटखटाया क्योंकि कोर्ट की ये जो प्रक्रिया है, कोर्ट जाने की जो प्रक्रिया है, उन्होंने पहले से ही पूरा किया हुआ है और उसमें बुरी तरह वो हार चुके हैं। लोअर कोर्ट से लेकर दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट और दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट से लेकर सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक कांग्रेस पार्टी जा चुकी है, इनके दिग्गज वकील जा चुके हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने स्पष्ट शब्दों में कहा हमें इस केस में मेरिट लगता है, आपको ट्रायल फेस करना पड़ेगा, यू विल हैव टू फेस द ट्रायल। ट्रायल चल रहा है। इनकम टैक्स वाले केस में अर्थात राहुल गांधी जी, मैं तो आज सवाल राहुल गांधी से पूछता हूं, राहुल गांधी जी इफ यू हैड नथिंग टू हाइड, अगर आप पाक साफ थे, आपके लोग कह रहे हैं ये तो सेक्शन 25 कंपनी है, ना इसमें कोई लेना ना कोई इसमें देना, अगर इतने पाक साफ थे तो 2010 में जो विषय सामने आया कि आपने अपने इनकम टैक्स में सच्चाई नहीं लिखी डिस्क्लोजर में, और तो और अपने इलेक्शन के एफिडेविट तक में आपने ये खुलासा नहीं किया कि आप यंग इंडिया के डायरेक्टर हैं और स्टेक होल्डर हैं। क्यों? क्या छिपाना चाहते थे आप? और ये इनकम टैक्स की नोटिस पब्लिक डोमेन में किस प्रकार से 68 लाख बताया गया था, बाद में 154 लाख का 154 करोड़ का आपके ऊपर इनकम टैक्स स्लैब किया गया। इस पूरे विषय को लेकर भी आप कोर्ट में गए थे। कांग्रेस पार्टी लोअर कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में गई थी कि ये इनकम टैक्स वाला केस भी क्लोजर होना चाहिए। 2018 में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी मना कर दिया कि नहीं, इसमें कोई रिलीफ नहीं मिलेगा, आपको केस लड़ना पड़ेगा। एंड टुडे यू आर फेसिंग द लॉ ऑफ द कंट्री। आप कोर्ट जा चुके हैं, इसीलिए आप कोर्ट नहीं जा रहे हैं। अब दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने क्या ऑर्डर दिया, दैट वाज क्वाइट इंक्रिमिनेटिंग। मैं कुछ पंक्तियां, इसमें तो पूरा का पूरा पढ़ने से समय भी नहीं होगा और हर जगह आपके विषय में लिखा हुआ है, मगर वैसे दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट में एक्यूज नंबर 1 सोनिया गांधी और एक्यूज नंबर 2 राहुल गांधी, उनके विषय में क्या कहा गया, कोर्ट ने क्या कहा, पैराग्राफ नंबर 39 मैं दिखा रहा हूं, पैराग्राफ नंबर 39 मैं चिन्हित करके लाया हूं, पढ़ूंगा आज आपके सामने। After having considered the entire case in its proper perspective, this court finds no hesitation to put it on record that the modus operandi adopted by the petitioners in taking control of Associated Journal Limited via special purpose vehicle, that is Young India, particularly when the main persons in the Congress party AJL and YI are the same, evidences as criminal intent. Whether it is cheating, criminal misappropriation or criminal breach of trust is not required to be spelled out at this nascent stage. In any case, by no stretch of imagination, it can be said that no case of summoning the petitioners as accused in the complaint is in question is made out. आप सोचिए जरा, इसमें आगे ये भी कहती है, gravity of the allegations leveled against the petitioners has a fraudulent flavor involving a national political party, and so serious imputations smacking of criminality level against politician need to be properly looked into. ये व्यू कांग्रेस पार्टी ने दिया था, उसके जवाब में कोर्ट ने ये सब कहा कि नहीं, मिसअप्रोप्रिएशन है, चीटिंग है, इसलिए समनिंग होगा। जिस प्रकार से कोर्ट ने पूरे विषय में एक्यूज नंबर 1 और एक्यूज नंबर 2 को इंप्लीकेट किया है, और उसके बाद सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी कहा है ट्रायल फेस करना पड़ेगा, यह विषय बड़ा गंभीर है। और मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा, इस पूरे मामले में 2 कंप्लेनेंट जिन्होंने चिट्ठी भी लिखा था, जस्टिस काटजू और श्री शांति भूषण जी। शांति भूषण जी फॉर्मर लॉ मिनिस्टर रहे हैं। जस्टिस काटजू और शांति भूषण जी दोनों ही स्टेक होल्डर रहे हैं नेशनल हेराल्ड में, और उन्होंने कहा कि हम शेयर होल्डर हैं, मगर इस पूरे शेयर को जब यंग इंडिया को दिया गया तो एक भी शेयर होल्डर्स की मीटिंग नहीं बुलाई गई, शेयर होल्डर्स के साथ कोई बात नहीं की गई। बिना हमारे जाने हमारे शेयर को ट्रांसफर कर दिया गया। और इस सारे शेयर, और ये शेयर का मतलब क्या होता है? शेयर का मतलब होता है ये सारी प्रॉपर्टी जो देश के मुख्य राजधानियों में हैं, भोपाल में है, लखनऊ में है, दिल्ली में बहादुर शाह जफर रोड जिसके विषय में कल बात हो रही थी, इन सारे स्थानों पे जो प्राइम प्रॉपर्टी है, जो करोड़ों करोड़ की हैं, उनको ट्रांसफर कर दिया यंग इंडिया में एक परिवार के पास। और यहां ये कह रहे याचना नहीं होगी, रण होगी। वाह, करप्शन भी करेंगे और रण भी करेंगे, दोनों तो नहीं हो सकता है। भ्रष्टाचार और रण ये नहीं हो सकता है, और भ्रष्टाचार और रन RUN ये भी नहीं हो सकता है। भ्रष्टाचार हुआ है तो पकड़े जाएंगे, भ्रष्टाचार हुआ है तो कानून के सामने आपको पेश होना ही पड़ेगा। कांग्रेस से सिर्फ इतना कहना है कि ये ड्रामा बंद करिए, अपने आप को कानून के हवाले करिए। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
समृद्ध मोहित फ्रॉम टाइम्स नाउ। सवाल कांग्रेस ये भी उठा रही है कि कल उनका जो है राष्ट्रव्यापी आंदोलन है महंगाई के खिलाफ, वो प्रधानमंत्री के घर का घेराव भी करना चाह रहे हैं। इसी वजह से उनके ऑफिस पे रेड पड़ी जा रही है, उनके ऑफिस के कार्यकालय के बाहर की सिक्योरिटी बढ़ाई दी जा रही है। ऐसे जो कांग्रेस के एलिगेशन आ रहे हैं कि सब कल का जो है राष्ट्रव्यापी विरोध को रोकने के लिए किया जा रहा है, उस पर क्या कहेंगे?
देखिए, कांग्रेस तो ये सब कहेगी नहीं। आप बताइए, पूरे दुनिया में कभी ऐसा हुआ है कोई चोरी करता हुआ पकड़ा जाए और जब पुलिस उसके पास पहुंच जाए तो वो आदमी कहता है हाँ मैंने चोरी की थी, अब अच्छा हुआ पुलिस आ गई, अब मुझे पकड़ ली? ऐसा तो कोई कहता नहीं है। जब भी चोरी करता हुआ, भ्रष्टाचार करता हुआ, ब्राइब लेता हुआ, रिश्वत लेता हुआ कोई व्यक्ति जो है रंगे हाथ पकड़ा जाता है तो वो यही कहता है मैं तो बड़ा अच्छा था, ये पुलिस बदमाश है, मुझे राजनीतिक द्वेष के साथ फंसाया जा रहा है, मैं तो पाक साफ हूं, मगर ये कारण है जिसके कारण मेरे ऊपर एक्शन हो रही है। तो कांग्रेस भी वही कर रही है। कांग्रेस जानती है कि दे आर नेक डीप इनटू करप्शन, और नेशनल हेराल्ड केस में उनके प्रथम परिवार के ऊपर आंच आ रहा है। आंच इसलिए आ रहा है क्योंकि कोर्ट में विषय गया हुआ है, सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने भी इनको रिलीफ नहीं दिया है। तो ऐसे में ये दूसरों को उंगली दिखाने का काम करेंगे कि हम तो ठीक है, बाकी सब बदमाश हैं। किंतु देश की जनता जानती है कि किस प्रकार से जिन लोगों ने आज़ादी की लड़ाई लड़ी, ऐसे 3000 परिवारों के साथ आपने धोखा किया है। उन्होंने अपना शेयर दिया था, उन्होंने डोनेट किया था, उन्होंने पैसे दिए थे नेशनल हेराल्ड के लिए। ये कोई जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी की प्रॉपर्टी नहीं थी व्यक्तिगत, ये कोई गांधी परिवार की, जो गांधी परिवार है, पंडित नेहरू, राजीव गांधी, इंदिरा गांधी, इनका व्यक्तिगत प्रॉपर्टी नहीं है। ये उन 3000 परिवारों की प्रॉपर्टी थी जिसके ऊपर भारत सरकार ने उस कंपनी को लैंड दिया, टैक्स पेयर की जमीन दी। अब उसको दो व्यक्तियों ने हथिया लिया है, सोनिया जी और राहुल जी ने। ये तो साफ साफ दिख रहा है।
संबित जी, कल दफ्तर को जब सील किया गया उस वक्त कांग्रेस पार्टी के तमाम बड़े नेता कांग्रेस के दफ्तर पहुंचे, उन्होंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस किया और ये आरोप लगाया कि जो वर्तमान सरकार है वो कांग्रेस पार्टी के साथ एक आतंकियों जैसा व्यवहार कर रही है।
गलत बात। कांग्रेस पार्टी के साथ आतंकियों जैसा व्यवहार नहीं किया जा रहा है। जो प्रथम परिवार है उनके साथ भ्रष्टाचारियों जैसा व्यवहार जो हिंदुस्तान की सिस्टम है वो कर रही है। स्वाभाविक है, जो भ्रष्टाचारी हैं, जिन्होंने करोड़ों करोड़ रुपए भ्रष्टाचार के माध्यम से बनाए, तो क्या जो हिंदुस्तान का संविधान है उन्हें भ्रष्टाचारियों की तरह ट्रीट नहीं करके उनका महिमामंडन करेगा क्या? तो आतंकवादियों की तरह ट्रीट नहीं किया जा रहा है, भ्रष्टाचारियों की तरह ये देश का सिस्टम उन्हें संविधान के अनुसार जो अनुच्छेद है उसमें ट्रीट कर रही है।
एक आखिरी सवाल सर, राहुल गांधी कल कर्नाटक गए हुए थे, उन्होंने तिरंगे को लेकर ट्वीट किया और कहा कि जो लोग 52 साल तक अपने कार्यालय में झंडा नहीं फहराए, ये जो बीजेपी है उसी राष्ट्रद्रोही ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से निकली हुई है, यानी आरएसएस को सीधे तौर पर वो राष्ट्रद्रोही बता रहे।
देखिए, कल भी इस विषय को लेकर हमने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस किया था और बड़े स्पष्ट रूप से हमने बताया था, आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव, 75 साल आज़ादी के पूरे हो रहे हैं, देश एक उत्सव से गुजर रहा है। हर साधारण से साधारण भारतीय के मन में एक उमंग है कि वह आज़ाद भारत में 75 वर्ष से सांस ले रहा है। वो चाहता है कि वो इस उमंग और उत्साह को एक ऊर्जा के साथ मनाए। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हर घर तिरंगा लगाने का एक आह्वान किया है। इसमें भी राजनीति करना, और वो भी इस प्रकार की छोटी राजनीति करना, ये फ्रस्ट्रेशन उचित नहीं है। मैं सिर्फ इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा कि तू इधर उधर की बात न कर, सिर्फ इतना बता, तिरंगे के प्रति सम्मान है या नहीं, तिरंगे आप लहराएंगे या नहीं। हम तो आज भी कहते हैं राजनीति छोड़िए, तिरंगा किसी पार्टी का नहीं है, तिरंगा किसी व्यक्ति का नहीं है, तिरंगा इस देश का है, भारत माँ का है। आइए राहुल जी, आप भी तिरंगा फहराइए पूरे देश में, पूरे अपने जिन भी राज्य में कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ता हैं उनसे आप निवेदन करिए कि वह भी हर घर तिरंगा कार्यक्रम में भाग लें।
एक सवाल संबित जी, कर्नाटका में राहुल गांधी ने ये भी कहा है कि बीजेपी जो है छोटे और मीडियम जो स्केल के बिजनेसमैन हैं वो जो बनाते हैं वो आगे नहीं बढ़ाना चाहते। सिर्फ 2-3 बिजनेसमैन ऐसे हैं जिनको लगातार प्रमोट किया जा रहा है और उन्हीं की उन्नति के लिए काम किया जा रहा है। क्या कहेंगे?
देखिए, राहुल गांधी जी की टेप रिकॉर्डर वो अटकी हुई है वहीं पर कि 2-3 बिजनेसमैन। वो आज से 10 साल पहले से ही यही कह रहे हैं। ये रिकॉर्ड आगे बढ़ ही नहीं रही है, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो रिकॉर्ड में माल फंक्शनिंग है। थैंक यू।
Sambit Patra of the BJP over there questioning the Gandhis, saying that if the law is equal, why must it not be followed for one family? Now, this, of course, is in response to the protests that have been announced by the Congress party. Do remember that legislators of the Congress party are meeting to be able to chalk the further strategy in terms of the fact that the National Herald's office was sealed yesterday. It was temporarily sealed by the Enforcement Directorate. Harsha and Anuj are joining us live. Anuj, to you first. We just heard Sambit Patra over there. So the BJP also attacking the Congress politically over there, saying that this is essentially proof that the Congress party and the Gandhis want a separate law unto themselves.
Well, exactly. This is the same what we have seen earlier also, because these are the war, we would say war of words could be clearly seen among the two parties. Congress party, if we talk about, they have been always calling it a political vendetta. They have been always calling it a witch hunt. And Bharatiya Janata Party attacking on the same. If you have not done anything, then why you are not cooperating and coming out with the proofs and the papers? That's what Sambit was saying, and targeting the Congress party and hitting hard to the Congress party that what exactly has happened in the past and what has happened in the court and what all are the papers saying. But the latest what we have been told is that Congress is going to do a protest. Congress is again going to be seen in the houses making uproar, and that is something what we have seen in this particular session. If we are talking about the monsoon session, how the uproar was seen by the opposition party, but this time the Congress party is in panic. We have seen it yesterday what has happened when the press conference was done. We have seen it when Rahul Gandhi was questioned by the Enforcement Directorate. When we have seen it when Sonia Gandhi was called in by the Enforcement Directorate. So same is going to be repeated in both the houses of the
Gandhi ji प्रथम या पूर्ण रूप से उसके मालिक है। आज तक ये नहीं बताया कि ऐसा क्यों कर रहे थे और क्या ये कानूनी रूप से सही है, पैसे कहां से आए, और हजारों करोड़ की संपत्ति जो है 50 लाख या 1 करोड़ में गांधी परिवार की कंपनी के कंट्रोल में आ जाए। विषय ये है, इस पे तो कुछ बोल नहीं रहे, लेकिन हर जगह ऐसे कह रहे जैसे सत्याग्रह कर रहे। भ्रष्टाचार के विषय के ऊपर में सत्याग्रह, आज तक दुनिया में ऐसा शायद हुआ ही नहीं होगा कि भ्रष्टाचार के आरोपों का जवाब नहीं दे रहे और सत्याग्रह की बात कर रहे हैं और फिर इसका राजनीतिकरण कर रहे हैं। भाई, आपके पास सही जवाब है तो स्वाभाविक पूर्ण रूप से सबके सामने रख दीजिए। राजनीतिकरण क्या कर रहे हैं? याचना क्या हो रही है? ये जांच है, जांच की पूर्ति होनी चाहिए, और अगर भ्रष्टाचार हुआ है तो संपत्ति पर कब्जा होना ही चाहिए। The issue is actually very simple. It's an investigation into corruption. The primary issue is that Congress party is a political party. It collects donations from the public or organizations for political work. It's not a bank. On what basis did they extend a loan to this company AGL, which was running newspapers? On what basis this 90-100 crore rupees? Then you write off the loan as a political party. Then that is transferred or assigned to a company called Young Indians, owned by Sonia Gandhi ji, Rahul Gandhi ji and family loyalists. So the question is, how have the assets worth thousands of crores of the AGL, National Herald House, etc., transferred to a company in the private ownership of Sonia Gandhi ji and Rahul Gandhi ji? Till date, they have given no straight answer on this. And now to convert this into as if there is some political vendetta against them, give a straight answer on the question of corruption. One has never heard that an investigation of corruption on which no answer is given is being converted into a satyagraha. And they are talking about being targeted and all. What is the targeting? If you have a straight answer, give it out, put it in the public domain. Let's not forget, courts have also given them no relief. Mrs. Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi ji are apparently out on bail. So therefore, the question is not that the BJP is working against them. The question is what is the corruption in this, why they have no answers, and why are they trying to politicize an investigation into corruption.
Nalin Kohli over there also questioning the Congress party. Let me go across to Harsha right now, who's reporting from outside the AICC headquarters in the national capital. Harsha, we were hearing earlier that the Congress party is strategizing in terms of how to deal with this. So can you give us more details as to what's been decided now?
No, but now when we have been seeing since yesterday how Congress leaders have been hitting hard at BJP regarding the political vendetta, they are saying this dictatorship, it is the political rivalry which BJP is carrying out. Now we are seeing that the BJP leaders are now hitting it hard back at Congress leaders by saying that Congress leaders never have answered to the major shareholders which Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi are in Young India Private Limited, which is the shareholding of 38%. Even when Justice Kartu and Shanti Bhushan, two of them also have said that they were the stakeholders, but their shares, when it got transferred to the entire family of Congress, they didn't even know about it. Their shares were transferred. When all these questions are asked with Congress leaders, they have nothing to answer. They only have to say about Satyagraha, but now their Satyagraha have been changed into a form of battle. They clearly know that they won't be given any relief from the court side, because Supreme Court, or be talking about High Court clearly stated that the criminal conspiracy and cheating has happened in this National Herald case. Now, Nupur, today the Congress leaders have been collected together inside Parliament. The meeting is going to start in a short while, in which Sonia Gandhi will also be present. Congress senior leaders from Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are together right now. The meeting will start in the office of the Congress Party Parliamentary Office inside, which was supposed to start at 9:45 a.m. Now it is starting right now, in which the next plan of action, which clearly be decided by Congress leader, like what they have to do. Will they call Congress supporters again, like the time we saw at the time of interrogation with the Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi? It was a whole lot of ruckus and chaos in the national capital and along with different states as well. Such thing will be carried out again, or yet there are some other strategy planning of Congress leaders. So the meeting which was to held inside Parliament have started. Nupur, Congress leaders are there. They are only waiting for Sonia Gandhi to arrive and decide, because since the time we have seen the questioning started with Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, in every state Congress supporters, leaders, workers were called, and the protests were staged in the national capital and other states. Many places we also saw how the protests went all in the violent form by burning the trial, burning the effigy, trying to push the barricades, and several things happened everywhere. Now when the National Herald Office, the Young India Private Limited premises have been sealed by ED officials, and now when the different raids, fresh raids, Nupur, are being carried out in the Hawala connection of National Herald, because clearly with only 50 lakh rupees they have taken crore of properties of AGIL. Which is
so those are questions, Harsha, that the Gandhis will both have to answer. Thank you, Anuj and Harsha, for the moment for joining us. We'll of course keep coming back to the two of you. And here's a look at some news in brief this morning. India will host diplomats of the 15-nation UN Security Council in October for a special meeting on counter-terrorism. India is halfway through the second year of its two-year term as an elected non-permanent member of the UNSC. India's tenure at the council will end in December this year, when the country will also preside as the president of the powerful UN organ for the month. The Shiva Sena's Uddhav delegation will meet the DGP today at about 10 o'clock. Shiva Sena MP Vinayak Raut, Arvind Sawant and MLC Manisha Kayande will be included in the delegation. The meeting comes as the Shiva Sena party members were of the view that cases filed against Shiva Senics on the attack on rebel MLAs are wrong and have demanded the withdrawal of these cases. Heavy rain has been reported in Brahmpuri, Sahasradhara area of Dehradun. Now, the Weather Office has earlier predicted thunder showers in the city. Now, according to the Weather Office, the maximum temperature is expected to settle 3 notches below normal at 31.2 degrees Celsius. West Bengal's Chief Minister will arrive in Delhi for a 4-day visit to attend the meeting of the Niti Aayog on the 7th of August. According to sources, Mamata Banerjee is expected to land this afternoon and will hold a meeting in the evening with her party MPs who have been in the forefront of protests against the government in the ongoing parliament session. She is also expected to meet President Draupadi Murmu. As the centre launched its Har Ghar Tiranga campaign under the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, various leaders from the Congress party took a jibe with the central government over the campaign by adding former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru's picture to their Twitter display picture and said that it was good that the government was recognizing the tricolour. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar expressed his condolences over the death of 3 people in a road accident in Bahura Chowk in Vaishali's Fatehpur. Taking note of the situation, the State Chief Minister announced an ex-gratia payment of 4 lakh rupees to each of the deceased family members. With an aim to increase power generation capacity of the central state of Madhya Pradesh and addressing electricity needs in the region, a floating solar power plant is being built in Khandwa, which will generate about 600 megawatts of power by 2023. This is said to be the world's largest floating solar plant. The project is estimated to be worth over 3,000 crore rupees. The Allahabad High Court has approved the bail of Brijesh Singh, also known as Arun Kumar Singh. Singh has been accused of conspiracy to murder and an attack on the Bahubali on Mukhtar Ansari and has been in jail for the last 12 years. Bail has been granted by a single judge bench of Arvind Kumar Mishra. And Union Home Minister Amit Shah is in Bengaluru to attend a conference of the Ministry of Culture and the Confederation of Indian Industries Sankalp Ki Siddhi. Union Minister is also likely to hold talks with the state BJP leaders amid tension surrounding the back-to-back murders in the communally sensitive Dakhin Kannada district.
Young India Private Limited seized by the Enforcement Directorate. Congress in huddle now undergoing with an important meeting in the Parliament. Rahul Gandhi to leave soon. Reporting live on the story. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break.
Is computing in science and engineering an essential part of industry growth?
The technology is fast changing, and all the products that we are providing to the society, they require knowledge from interdisciplinary area.
Can the study of 2 different domains make students adept with problem solving?
I would just say that apart from getting the educational degrees, focus on developing skills for yourself.
To know more, watch Amrita School of Engineering presents Shaping the Future of India this weekend only on Republic TV.
Sonia Gandhi wants to be treated like a VIP in a financial fraud case. She and her son have misappropriated over 2,000 crores of property in this one case. But Sonia Gandhi wants special treatment. She wants to be treated like a VIP. And we say, no way, Sonia Gandhi, you won't, you can't. Because there must never be any special treatment for alleged financial fraudsters. The Vadra Gandhis have got away with too much for too long already. And financial fraud and corruption of this kind cannot be incentivized. Why just seal one of their many properties? Why aren't all the properties and bank accounts of the Vadras and the Vadra Gandhis, which are proceeds of crime, sealed and seized? Viewers, there is no persecution here, let's be clear. The Vadra Gandhis are the direct alleged beneficiaries of a gigantic, of a dirtiest of the dirty, multiple cases of financial usurping of massive properties. They have conspired to usurp hundreds of crores worth of assets in different parts of the country. And they have been caught red-handed. They've gone to the courts, which obviously, finding a worthy case, have told them to quietly cooperate with the investigation being done by the Enforcement Directorate. And they have made, hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen, on primary investment, hold your breath, a 3,99,900% profit. I repeat.
Protesters trying to exert force on the barricades and trying to break it down.
Mr. Chatterjee, would you like to respond?
Sonia Gandhi coming out of the, and we can see Priyanka Gandhi is also here along with Sonia Gandhi.
Sukhjinder Singh outside his residence. He has come out. He has come out.
Top headlines at 10:30. Freedom struggle for profit scam hits Vadra Congress. ED seals Young India Company office in the national capital. Congress swings into huddle mode as ED is set to probe money laundering and hawala angle.
जब यंग इंडिया लिमिटेड, यह जो एक कंपनी है जिसकी 76% के स्टेक होल्डर या डायरेक्टर कहिए, ओनर कहिए, मालिक कहिए, सोनिया गांधी और राहुल गांधी है.
BJP tears into Congress, says stop the drama and face the law.
पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा की बात है तो इसको बार बार हम दोहराने से मुझे ठीक नहीं लगता.
Silent on draft charges, Congress gives ED action, vendetta spinner. Arrested Sena MP Sanjay Rao to be produced before PMLA court today in Patra Chaul scam case. Maharashtra political war in top court, Harish Salve to appear for Shinde camp as Shinde versus Uddhav intensifies. Good morning, viewers. Thanks for staying tuned. We are live and breaking, and the big news this hour is the last rites of Sepoy Sukhjinder is in fact underway. We understand the live visuals also that we are getting right now of the final salute being paid to Sepoy Sukhjinder Singh in Araspura sector of Jammu. Gursimran is getting us those visuals as well and reporting live from the very spot where the tributes are pouring in, and the last rites, we are told, are underway. The final tribute that is being paid to Sukhjinder, who was martyred, and the visuals in which you can see the people who've gathered in large numbers to pay their final respects to the martyr, to Sepoy Sukhjinder in Araspura sector of Jammu. Gursimran is joining us live. Gursimran, if you could talk to us about Sepoy Sukhjinder, his sacrifice, how he was martyred, and as we can see in the visuals, people have gathered in large numbers to pay their final respects.
Yes, Gaurav is showing you the visuals from the last rites. The gun salute will be given in a short while to this braveheart of the Mother India who attained supreme sacrifice in the line of duty in Uttarakhand. Now the senior army officials, they will be laying wreaths, the final tribute to this braveheart of the country who attained martyrdom in the line of duty while performing his duties in the Uttarakhand. This was his first place of posting in which he attained martyrdom. His father was also in the Indian Army and retired as the honorary captain. Son of the honorary captain, he was very fond of joining the elite force of the Indian Army. He joined the Indian Army in 2020 and underwent training and joined in Himachal for his first place of posting, was deployed there and was carrying out his duties when this unfateful incident took place in which Sepoy Sukhjinder Singh of 11 Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry made the supreme sacrifice. Now the last tributes are being paid. The national flag on the mortal remains of this braveheart salute. The entire country is paying salute to this braveheart, and now the final bid to this braveheart, the wreath being laid, the Tiranga on the mortal remains of this braveheart speaks that what he has done for the country, the utmost sacrifice the soldier can dream of. He has laid down his life while performing his duties for the Mother India. Gaurav is showing you the visuals, the officials of the Indian Army. They are paying tribute to this braveheart. The senior officials of the Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry will now be laying wreath for this braveheart, after which he will be cremated. He will be laid to the rest. This unfortunate incident unfolded in Himachal Pradesh, after which the family is in grief. Heavens have fallen on them. They don't know how to react, but the entire Araspura sector, the entire Jammu and Kashmir, the country is proud of this braveheart as the last salute is given to him. He has made the supreme sacrifice for the country. These bravehearts from the border areas, they are those who have made it very sure that the unity and integrity of the country remains intact. And now, thousands and thousands of civilians have also gathered. If I can request Gaurav to show you a 360-degree view of this entire area, then an idea of the supreme sacrifice and how it matters for the bravehearts of the Indian Army. The Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry's 11 Jack Lai he was from. His father has retired as an honorary captain. His uncle, his cousins, all are in the Indian Army. So this family has given their utmost for the country. The family has served for generations in the Indian Army, and this generation, Sukhjinder Singh, Sepoy Sukhjinder Singh of the 11 Jack Lai of the Indian Army, made the supreme sacrifice. And now the tributes to this braveheart of the Mother India, after which he will be laid to rest. This 20-year-old young man who joined the army at the age of 18 had the dreams to serve the country. He was really fond of serving at his native place, that is in Jammu and Kashmir. Probably he would be getting the next posting as he was in Himachal, and soon he will be getting deployed in Jammu and Kashmir. But before that, an unfaithful incident unfolded in which he attained martyrdom, and now the wreath being laid for this braveheart, the wreath being laid for this son of the country who attained the martyrdom. He got his primary and higher education from Jammu only, and then joined the Indian Army at the age of 18 after passing his +2. He, after undergoing the training, joined the Indian Army some 1.5 years back on the active duty and was deployed in Himachal Pradesh as a part of 11 Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry. He was serving there, he was on the active line of the duty, and this unfortunate incident unfolded, and now the entire country is paying salute to this braveheart. I'll request Gaurav to keep showing you the visuals from the last rites of this braveheart, as the bravehearts, his colleagues, his officials, they are paying him the final salute to the braveheart who made the supreme sacrifice. And now the gun salute will be given to this braveheart. The gun salute for the supreme sacrifice, the sacrifice that he has made for the country. While he was on the active line of duty, he made the supreme sacrifice. The family is in grief. The family is in pain as they have lost their dear one. But one thing that they are proud of, that their son has made supreme sacrifice, and Gaurav is showing you the non-stop visual. This braveheart from the Araspura sector, which falls on the Indo-Pakistan international border. And right now, we are at the cremation ground, which is just a few meters from the Indo-Pakistan international border. The salutes being paid, the family in grief, the locals, they are proud of the supreme sacrifice that Sukhjinder has made. The Sepoy Sukhjinder of the 11th Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry has made for the country. And now the family members, they are also here to pay salute. Sister of Sukhjinder was to get married in December this year, but the family don't know how will they come out of this. An unfortunate incident that has unfolded when he was on the line of duty, and Gaurav is showing you the visuals from the last rites of Sepoy Sukhjinder. The officials of the Indian Army, they are paying salutes to this braveheart, the father, the sister, the mother of Sukhjinder. The family members also don't know how to express themselves because they too had plans for Sukhjinder. But the unfortunate incident has taken away this brave heart of the Indian Army away from the family. And in a short while from now, final gun salute will be given to them. The officials of the Jammu and Kashmir Police, they are also here to lay wreath to this brave heart of the Araspura sector of Jammu, Indo-Pakistan international border. The salutes are being given. The entire area of the Araspura and the adjoining villages, they remember him as a brave heart who laid down his life. I'll request if Gaurav can show you a 360-degree view. It will give an idea of the number of people, those who have gathered here in large numbers. The gun salute being given to the brave heart of the Indian Army who made the supreme sacrifice for the country. The family members and the Jawans of the Indian Army, they are paying tribute to this brave heart who has laid down his life in the line of the duty. Family members saluting the brave hearts who attained the martyrdom in the line of duty in Himachal Pradesh day before yesterday when an unfortunate incident unfolded that has taken away this brave heart from the family, but the entire country is proud of this brave heart. At the age of the 20, he attained this supreme sacrifice. This family has a legacy of serving in the Indian Army as his father. The father of this brave heart has also retired from the Indian Army as an honorary captain. So this family has a legacy of serving in the Indian Army. Now I request Gaurav to keep showing you the visuals that the tributes being paid to this brave heart by the officials of the Jammu and Kashmir police, also the senior officials of the J&K police. They have also paying tributes to this brave heart. And now the final gun salute to this brave heart of the country. The final gun salute to this martyrdom, to the supreme sacrifice. So the gun salutes to the brave heart of the country from the Araspura sector of the Indo-Pakistan international border, who has attained the supreme sacrifice in the line of duty, and now he will be laid to rest in a short while. The final gun salute by the Indian Army has been given. Yes, back to studios.
French lawmakers approved a €20 billion package of measures to help struggling households cope with rising energy and food prices. The bill was a key promise from Macron, who was re-elected for a second term in April. Britain's governing Conservative Party said it had modified the voting process for its members to elect a new party leader and Prime Minister. Now this comes after an alert from the country's spies warned that only cyber hackers could change members' ballots. Ukraine forces used self-propelled artillery in an effort to push Russians further away from the country's second largest city, Kharkiv, as Russians continued to press its offensive in the east. Under an agreement Moscow and Kiev signed last month to unblock Ukraine's agricultural exports and ease a global food crisis, the first cargo ship loaded with grain to leave Ukraine since Russia invaded more than 5 months ago safely crossed the Black Sea and anchored just outside Istanbul en route Lebanon. New Zealand government released its first ever climate adoption plan, which includes the possibility of moving some communities to higher ground. According to Climate Change Minister James Shaw, about 70,000 coastal homes in New Zealand are at risk due to rising water level in the area.
Sanjay Raut's custody has ended and will now be produced before the special PMLA court today. This comes after Sanjay Raut was in the ED's custody in relation to the Patra Chaul case, for which the ED raided his residences for about 9 hours. Now, the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy has credited 395 crore rupees to 3.95 lakh beneficiaries under the Jagan Thodu scheme. According to the Chief Minister's office, the scheme provides 10,000 rupees each to small traders, vendors and artisans.
The protesters are trying to exert force on the barricades and trying to break it down.
Mr. Chatterjee, would you like to respond?
Sonia Gandhi coming out of the, and we can see Priyanka Gandhi also here, along with Sonia Gandhi.
Sanjay Raut Singh outside his residence. He has come out. He has come out.
Jammu and Kashmir Director General of Police Digbag Singh has chaired a high-level meeting to review the overall security scenario and arrangements regarding the forthcoming Independence Day and Muharram functions. During the meeting, the DGP has sought reports from officers about security arrangements and deployment plans put in place for the smooth and peaceful conduct of Muharram and Independence Day in twin capital cities and all district headquarters across Jammu and Kashmir.
Breaking news coming in, we are told that the Congress MPs will raise the issue of misuse, what they allege misuse of central agencies like the ED and the sealing of the office of Young India in both houses of the Parliament today. So, showdown expected in the Parliament today as Congress is expected to rake up issues pertaining to the freedom struggle for profit scam. This after the late night action as well that happened in which the Young India office was also sealed. We have Anuj reporting live. Anuj, if you could give us more details, the showdown that is expected in the Parliament today as the Congress is expected to rake up the issue in the Parliament as well.
Well, that is something what we have been told, that this is going to be the strategy of the Congress party when they are going to again uproar in both the houses of the Parliament. Again, ruckus would be seen in the Parliament, whether we are talking about the Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, and that was decided in the strategy meeting. At this point in time when we are talking, the strategy meeting in the Parliament is on. We are tracking the story. We'll be right back after a short break. Stay tuned.
Trying to exert force on the barricades and trying to break it down.
Mr. Chatterjee, would you like to respond?
Sonia Gandhi coming out of the, and we can see Priyanka Gandhi also here, along with Sonia Gandhi.
Sanjay Raut Singh outside his residence. He has come out. He has come out.
Jammu and Kashmir Director General of Police Digbag Singh has chaired a high-level meeting to review the overall security scenario and arrangements regarding the forthcoming Independence Day and Muharram functions. During the meeting, the DGP has sought reports from officers about security arrangements and deployment plans put in place for the smooth and peaceful conduct of Muharram and Independence Day in twin capital cities and all district headquarters across Jammu and Kashmir. As the registration for the senior secondary recruit and matric recruitment concluded, the Indian Navy has received over 80,000 applications from women candidates. According to officials, the recruitment of the above-mentioned profiles will be done under the Agnipath scheme. Union Minister Prahlad Joshi has slammed the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi over his questions on price rise, unemployment and other issues. The leader termed the Wayanad Member of Parliament a part-time irresponsible politician and also said that the latter was roaming around when the Parliament was debating price rise.
उन्होंने ये कहा है कि चर्चा नहीं करना चाहते, चर्चा हो गया तो इतना अज्ञान प्रदर्शन करते ही रहते हो। वो समझता है उनका राइट है. They are exhibiting the innocence. I mean, his innocence. He feels that it is his right. ज्ञान का exhibition. He feels that it is his right. So I can't. मैं बहुत ज़्यादा इसमें बोलना नहीं चाहता हूँ. चर्चा हो गया, रिप्लाई हो गया, सब कुछ हो गया. वो इधर उधर घूमते रहते हैं ना, उनको कुछ पता नहीं चलता. ये पार्ट टाइम irresponsible politics.
Look at the mountain of cash.
राहुल गांधी को हिरासत में लिया जा रहा है. बड़ी खबर, बड़ी जानकारी.
And a roundup from across the globe, Iraqi President Barham Saleh took news in brief ahead of the federal and provincial elections in Nepal. Prime Minister of Nepal, Sher Bahadur Deoba, summoned his cabinet. According to a Union Minister of Nepal, it has been decided to hold polls on 20th of November and some formal decisions are to be made as well. The ED has sealed the office space of Young Indian Company in the premises of Congress-owned newspaper National Herald in the national capital. As part of the ongoing money laundering investigation, the seal was put in order to preserve the evidence. Meanwhile, heavy rains lashed Mumbai today, which affected the city life and commuters, as well as Andheri subway was flooded due to the incessant rainfall. Huge cache of gelatin sticks was found in Palakkad district of Kerala. About 8,000 gelatin sticks were found in about 40 boxes. It was first discovered by the locals, following which the police have launched a massive hunt. The BJP, meanwhile, appealed to all opposition leaders, including Congress, not to politicize Centre's Har Ghar Tiranga campaign under the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, stating that the campaign is not a political program.
Congress leaders' Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha meeting has started inside Parliament to decide the next plan of action. Ahead of ED has sealed the Young India Private Limited office in the presence of Sonia Gandhi. The meeting has already started. We in Republic TV will give you more updates and breakings regarding this big news on National Herald. Stay tuned. Keep watching Republic TV.
At the mountain of cash.
राहुल गांधी को हिरासत में लिया जा रहा है. बड़ी खबर, बड़ी जानकारी.
And a roundup from across the globe, Iraqi President Barham Saleh held talks with special UN representative in Baghdad to discuss the ongoing political crisis in the country. During this meet, the two leaders discussed ways to improve current crisis in the country. Ukrainian President Zelensky addressed 21 Australian universities in an online discussion hosted by Australian National University in Canberra. Zelensky said he would prefer Beijing join countries including the United States and Australia. French lawmakers approved a €20 billion package of measures to help struggling households cope with rising energy and food prices. The bill was a key promise from Macron, who was re-elected for a second term in April. Britain's governing Conservative Party said it had modified the voting process for its members to elect a new party leader and prime minister. Now this comes after an alert from the country's spies warned that only cyber hackers could change members' ballots. Ukraine forces used self-propelled artillery in an effort to push Russians further away from the country's second largest city, Kharkiv, as Russians continued to press its offensive in the east. Under an agreement Moscow and Kiev signed last month to unblock Ukraine's agricultural exports and ease a global food crisis, the first cargo ship loaded with grain to leave Ukraine since Russia invaded more than 5 months ago safely crossed the Black Sea and anchored just outside Istanbul en route Lebanon. New Zealand government released its first ever climate adoption plan, which includes the possibility of moving some communities to higher ground. According to Climate Change Minister James Shaw, about 70,000 coastal homes in New Zealand are at risk due to rising water level in the area.
Sanjay Raut's custody has ended and will now be produced before the special PMLA court today. This comes after Sanjay Raut.
What about the moment when you're up there? I saw your picture there with the tricolor in your hands.
Yeah, I felt proud because there, like, I was representing the whole country, you know.
Yeah.
So I had that proud feeling that I made my country proud, and I think that the feelings cannot be described into words.
India roars Tiranga above all, but opposition won't even spare the Tiranga from politics. After Rahul Gandhi, Mehbooba Mufti is at it now. The opposition tries to spin competitive nationalism. The freedom struggle for profit scam hits the Vadras Congress. ED seals Young India company office in the national capital.
इंडिया लिमिटेड यह जो एक कंपनी है जिसकी 76% के स्टेक होल्डर या डायरेक्टर कहिए, ओनर कहिए, मालिक कहिए, सोनिया गांधी और राहुल गांधी है.
Silent on graft charges, the Congress gives the ED action vendetta spin now, but the BJP hits back, says stop the drama and face the law. And Republic news break reverberates. ED is set to push hard for arrested Sanjay Raut's extended custody. Good morning and thank you very much for staying with us on Republic TV. This is live and breaking. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. Our top story and focus this morning after Rahul Gandhi's Nehru stunt, Mehbooba Mufti has now politicized the tricolour, and the larger question remains, if the Tiranga unites, then why is the opposition trying to spin competitive nationalism? Now this is what we are just getting. Mehbooba Mufti has attempted to play competitive nationalism, and the bigger question that this begs is why is the opposition trying these antics? I think we've got Zeenat who's joining us from Srinagar now. Zeenat, give us more details in terms of what Mehbooba Mufti is planning. I'm going to try and go across again to Zeenat in just a bit, but the bigger question that everybody's asking is why must there be competitive nationalism? Now, what we are given to understand, of course, is that the opposition parties are trying to play competitive nationalism over this. To remember that when Rahul Gandhi had actually changed his Twitter picture, he put in a picture of the first Prime Minister of the country, Jawaharlal Nehru, on his Twitter profile. But pictures on your screen are of Mehbooba Mufti, of course, and Mehbooba Mufti has been questioning the government's programs in terms of the Har Ghar Tiranga program that has been launched by the centre as well. I'm going to try again to go to Zeenat once again. Zeenat, if you are with us. All right, I don't think we've got Zeenat with us yet. But obviously, the point that's being made is that the government's Har Ghar Tiranga campaign, of course, has drawn a considerable amount of criticism from the opposition party. Zeenat, are you there with us?
Yes.
All right, Zeenat. So we are seeing competitive nationalism coming in from Mehbooba Mufti. Give us more details, please.
See, this is the development that happened actually yesterday when Miss Mufti changed her DP on Twitter as well as on the Facebook. Just few days back, Prime Minister Modi was addressing the people of
India through Monkeypox, where Prime Minister appealed people of the country that they should display Tiranga, and then Miss Mufti took on Facebook as well as the Twitter and changed the DP. If you see the DP of Miss Mufti earlier, it was with the Mehbooba Mufti's picture along with the party logo of PDP, but now we are seeing the picture of Prime Minister Modi with the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir and also the father of Miss Mufti, Mufti Muhammad Said. But in the picture, one can see the Tiranga as well as the flag of erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir, and she is reminding people of Jammu and Kashmir what has been snatched by the government of India on the 5th of August 2019 after on this day the Article 370 was abrogated, under which under special provision of the constitution there was a separate flag with the people of Jammu and Kashmir, but now that flag has been robbed as per Miss Mufti. So it is a controversy that is being generated coming from Miss Mufti when she has changed the display picture of Twitter as well as the Facebook showing the tricolor, but at the same time showing the flag of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir, which has raised many questions about the PDP president's move, because earlier, if you remember, in many of her speeches she's been saying and targeting the center that if you will touch Article 370, people of Jammu and Kashmir, there won't be even a single one who will raise or hoist the tricolor. But after Miss Mufti made this statement, thousands of people were in the Kashmir as well as in the Jammu who hoist tricolor at the different places. So giving an answer to Miss Mufti, the way she tried to target the central government, the central leadership. Now, as far as the Tiranga controversy is concerned, yesterday also we witnessed that Dr. Sandeep Mawa, Kashmiri Pandit activist, hoisted a flag at the Hurriyat conference office, though the place is locked since 2019. But after a few minutes, the flag was removed. Again, it was more seen as a disrespect to the Tiranga. We are seeing that the central as well as the state government is running a campaign under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, where we are seeing that the campaign is being run through the country. The people are being asked to display the...
Zina, do stay with us. Zina, do stay with us. I'm going to go across to Mr. Bhatia from the BJP. Mr. Bhatia, how do you see this action of Mehbooba Mufti now on her Facebook as well as her Twitter pages? We understand that she's put a picture of the national flag, also accompanied by the erstwhile flag of Jammu and Kashmir.
It is quite shameful, and every citizen remembers the unpardonable statement of Mehbooba Mufti when Article 370 was being abrogated. She said कि तिरंगे को उठाने वाला कोई नहीं होगा. And today we see that Article 370 no more exists in the form that it was in the Constitution earlier. Now, putting this picture also shows the despicable attitude of Mehbooba Mufti, where she is trying to equate another flag with the tricolor, which is a violation of our Constitution itself. And the saddest part is that this very Constitution is the Constitution she swore by to protect, preserve, and now she is violating the spirit of the Constitution with impunity.
Mr. Bhatia, also, do you think that the opposition parties are just trying to unnecessarily play politics on the issue of the national flag when, you know, there must, at least the national flag should be above all this?
Couldn't have agreed with you more, and I must say that the government under the leadership of Shri Narendra Modi ji is celebrating Har Ghar Tiranga campaign when India is celebrating 75 years of independence. The spirit and the thought behind it is that, you know, this feeling of oneness. Now, India will always be one, united, and will respect the tricolor. There is a minuscule population which tries to belittle the tricolor even, and they can't stand together with the government and the people of the country even to celebrate this historic occasion.
All right, Gaurav Bhatia from the BJP over there. Appreciate your joining us. Zeenat, I'm going to come back to you. Zeenat, what kind of responses is Mehbooba Mufti's profile picture and the changing of it thereof in this manner getting back in Jammu and Kashmir?
See, Nupur, it's not only about the Prime Minister's campaign, Har Ghar Tiranga, but we are also going to have an anniversary of the abrogation of Article 370, which will be tomorrow. So Mehbooba is reminding the people what happened on 5th of August 2019 and also targeting center that as per the Miss Mufti center has robbed what was with the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and their alliance with the Union of India was on some conditions like the separate constitution, the flag and all other things. But that is what now the center has robbed from the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and it is more like that this was done under the Prime Minister Modi's leadership when the central government abrogated Article 370 on 5th of August 2019. So it's not only about the campaign Har Ghar Tiranga Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, but also now the Miss Mufti is reminding people of Jammu and Kashmir that what happened exactly on 5th of August 2019 when centre abrogated Article 370, with the result that flag, the constitution, everything was de-recognized. So this is what the Miss Mufti is reminding the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and simultaneously targeting centre for what Prime Minister Modi did to the people of Jammu and Kashmir when Prime Minister promised that Jammu and Kashmir will be will be developed in the best possible manner. What J&K has remained could not be on the path of development because of terrorism and other things. But now, after the Prime Minister took over the reins of the country, the J&K will definitely change. But here we are seeing the Miss Mufti targeting central government on the abrogation of Article 370's anniversary, which is tomorrow.
All right, Zeenat, of course, is bringing us the latest from Srinagar on this. Zeenat, thank you for joining us. Well, we're going across now to the other big story that we're tracking this morning. Maharashtra's political drama is now playing out in the top court. The Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana's bench has now assembled. The Supreme Court is continuing its hearing on a bunch of petitions related to the formation of the Eknath Shinde BJP government in the state of Maharashtra, the disqualification of rebel MLAs, and the right and the right to the symbol of the Shiva Sena. Now, do remember that the battle essentially is between the two factions of the Shiva Sena. One, of course, is led by Uddhav Thackeray and the other led by Eknath Shinde. Rhythm is joining us live on this. Rhythm, a very critical hearing that is going on in the Supreme Court today.
Absolutely. We'll see the Chief Justice of India speak about the Maharashtra political crisis, making certain points. We're also seeing here that in this matter, senior advocate Arvind Datar is appearing for the Election Commission. But let's tell our viewers what is at hand here, first of all. It's Mr. Hari Salve who's appearing for the Eknath Shinde camp, saying that he does not believe this qualification stands ground. He believes it's illegal because he says today we're in a situation the Speaker has not decided anything because of the stay. He says it is a right in every case that allegations will be made against the Speaker. It's not something extraordinary. So Salve continues his arguments where he says if a law is passed and they vote for the law, can you say the law is illegal? These are constitutional matters being decided in the top court of the country, where we are seeing it's the Eknath Shinde versus the Uddhav Sena camp, where Hari Salve appears for Eknath Shinde, says and talks about what really disqualification is. He says there are important cases that need to be seen here. It may be that a political party can decide to condone it. It's a matter of illegality that needs to be seen. Just to give a crux of the arguments that are happening inside the courtroom as the hearing is underway, the bench of Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana, Justice Murari and Justice Seema Kohli hearing the petitions that have been filed. Hari Salve for the Shinde camp says the Speaker can take 3 months, laws are passed, and we say it's illegal. So he's also talking about the contours of the anti-defection law, that to strike a balance when suppose the person is elected by corrupt practices or not. At the same time, Nupur, we are seeing the Chief Justice of India give observations where he says political parties cannot be totally ignored. It's a danger to democracy. And they say, Salve answers by saying if a law is passed and they vote for the law, can it be illegal? To which the Uddhav camp lawyer, Kapil Sibal, says this does not require the matter to be referred to a larger bench.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Now, one of the points that is being argued upon, we are given to understand, Rhythm, is the anti-defection law. And Harish Salve over there saying that it cannot be an anti-dissent law.
Yes. So, Nupur, as he's saying that, I also want to tell a quick update coming in from the courtroom where Dr. Abhishek Manu Singh appearing for the Uddhav camp says it's not a normal case. The entire claim is based on support of majority of MLAs. All of them are talking about the disqualification plea that was filed in the Supreme Court when the earlier speaker had disqualified the majority of the MLAs. They say if they are disqualified, the claim goes. Where does the balance of convenience lie? It's both the groups trying to claim and understand who the real political party is. And I think that's the biggest observation coming in from the Supreme Court, where the Chief Justice of India says, suppose there are two groups claiming they are the real political party, can't they claim to recognize the political party? So a very pertinent question being asked as they are speaking by the Chief Justice.
Now, what we are also given to understand is that, Rhythm, this case that we are seeing in the Supreme Court essentially will touch upon very important issues, including the anti-defection law, as well as, as the Chief Justice has just observed, he goes on to also examine the role of the Election Commission.
Well, the Election Commission role, whether they're going to examine if the later plea will come to Nupur once that particular plea is before them. The larger point they are trying to see is on the actions of the speaker and on the actions that happened when the person was disqualified. The latest observation that I'm even coming in from Kapil Sibal, who's also part of this marathon hearing, a political case at the top court of the country, is whether the case needs to be referred to a larger bench or not. Hari Salve is speaking about the powers of the speaker and saying that allegations that are made against speaker, in every case, allegations will be made against speaker. Is it not something extraordinary? So all we need to do right now is to continue seeing the observations coming in, because after Dr. Singhvi, we hear a couple of people who got up and saying, can 40 MLAs say they are the political party? They are mixing up legislative party with the political party. I think after divide and shift, these questions are being raised and will have to be resolved.
Rhythm, I think we're also joined by Mr. Kothari on the phone line. Mr. Kothari, this of course is a very critical hearing that's taking place in the Supreme Court right now. The court of course did hear preliminary arguments now yesterday.
Yes, I know. Yes, what's your question?
Right. I think Rhythm has a question for you.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, Mr. Kothari, now this obviously is a very critical case that we are seeing in the Supreme Court. Now, one of the things that we understand is that Mr. Singhvi in his arguments has said that this is not a normal case here. The entire claim is based on support of majority MLAs. If they are disqualified, the claim goes. So how do you see what's playing out in the courtroom today?
Well, let me tell you something. Mr. Singhvi is obviously arguing for Mr. Uddhav Thackeray's camp, and he's on a very, very weak wicket. The 10th schedule properly allows you to defect if there is 2/3 majority, which is what has happened in this case. Obviously, the issues of whether the speaker was appropriately appointed, whether he had the power to disqualify, all of those hang in balance, which definitely may have a bearing. But according to me, the speaker's disqualification is not as important an issue as much as the majority of the people who have defected is an issue. If they've decided to choose, if they have chosen to defect and join the BJP or form an alliance with BJP, nothing in law can stop them. It's as simple as that, provided they satisfy the requirements of the 10th schedule of the Constitution, which is the anti-defection law. So regardless of what Mr. Singhvi argues, it's not going to really have much bearing on that, because the Supreme Court eventually may give it over to a larger bench, or may possibly even decide on its own as far as this is concerned, given the gravity of the matter. Because referring it to a larger bench, then constituting the people who will be manning it, then setting up a date, then asking people again to argue, is all going to land up into another rigmarole of dates. So I think, given the fact that this kind of an issue requires importance and gravitas, the fact that the Shinde camp can start appointing its ministers, which is very important. Because right now there are only two that we see. One is the Chief Minister, and one is the Deputy Chief Minister. So, this is not something which is, which the Supreme Court would like to have it limbo as far as one of the states is concerned, and that to a premier state of the country.
Right, absolutely.
So I believe that Mr. Salve would be well, comfortable in his shoes, arguing the points that he's been arguing very so deftly. that ultimately it's the majority of the people that matters, and things are not going to fall if a government changes in any of the states. So this is as simple as that. If the majority, and in fact, the majority will of the people was a BJP Shiv Sena. The Maharashtra state never agreed, the people of the Maharashtra state never agreed to an alliance between the NCP and the Shiv Sena.
Right.
And Congress. That was never agreed to. So what's the big deal if there is a change of stance in government?
Right. Right, Mr. Kothari, thank you very much for joining us over there. So that was Swapnil Kothari putting forth his point of view. But just to tell our viewers what's happening right now, of course, is this case over the Shiv Sena is now in the top court. A bench led by the CJI is hearing it even as we speak now. Alicia, I think, is getting more updates on what's happening inside the courtroom. Alicia, give us the latest that you are hearing in terms of what's happening.
Well, it's important for the disqualification of the 16 rebel MLAs. So if we talk about Haris Salve, who is making some of the important points, including anti-defection law is to strike a balance. When suppose a person is elected by corrupt practices, all that does is legal till he gets disqualified. Further, he mentioned where Haris Salve has mentioned that. If suppose the speaker has mentioned that if suppose the speaker takes 3 months and law are passed, then you can say law are illegal. But moreover, even the Supreme Court has made an important observation where he asked Haris Salve, stating that is anti-defection applied to only those things where to the answer where Salve says that anti-defection law is to strike a balance when suppose a person is elected by corrupt practices, all that is to be